All right, hello again, and we're back to regular play with the Ned McGreevy Enough Said League. Last night we did an all-star game, which turned into a doubleheader. It was really fun. So the Ned McGreevy All-Stars, adopting the name of the Dublin Nuffseds, lost in extra innings to the 1929 Philadelphia Athletics, 4-3. It was a brilliantly managed game by Ken Castro. And the second game, the Dublin Nuffseds defeated the 1934 St. Louis Cardinals 1-0 in a great pitching duel between Walter Johnson and Dizzy Dean. So tonight we get back to regular play. We're at game 138. Um, yeah, so we're really getting close to being done here. About 17 games to go, and we're done. Coming on early tonight, 8:19. Probably be done before anybody comes on, but we're going to do it anyhow. So tonight we've got a pretty good matchup here, I would say. We've got a couple of chance for maybe Arsenal to play a little spoiler against Philadelphia, but our feature game is going to be Cleveland at Bellingham. Cleveland in second place, 6 games behind Manchester, and Bellingham a game above 500 and 9 games back. So Bellingham, an outside runner, in this big old horse race featuring players drafted by the community from 1880 to 1919. So I hope you enjoyed tonight's game, and this one will go quickly, I'm hoping. All right, just getting everything set up, and we're ready to go. I'm simulcasting at the same time Robert is doing his 1988 All-Star game, and so I'm sure you'll enjoy that. So lots of baseball to choose from. All right. And it looks like we are about ready to go here. And we already, there we go. Let's get our pitcher in here. Jim Bagby. All right. There we go. And let's get to the ballpark. All right, welcome to Sick Stadium in the state of Washington for today's game between Cleveland and Bellingham. Jim Bagby takes the mound for Cleveland. He has 3 starts in the year, and he's 5 and 4th, an ERA of 2.41. This will be his first start against the Bellingham club. The Bellingham bare-handed wolf chokers. Taking the hill for Bellingham would be Sam Lever. He has 29 starts in the year, and he is 11 and 18 with an earned run average of 3.42. This will be his 5th start against Cleveland, and 3 and 1 with a 2.25 earned run average. At game time, also we should point out that the Cleveland third baseman, Home Run Baker, on a 14-game hitting streak. Temperature is 77 degrees at game time, not a cloud in the sky, and the wind is 6 miles per hour out to left.
Play ball.
Let's switch up our options as we have them. Oh, we got it right. Okay. So leading off for Cleveland here in the top of the first inning at Sick Stadium. This is our only ballpark not associated with either 19th century or dead ball, but manager D. Scott Howard wanting to pick a park that was fond memory of his. Home of the 1969 Seattle Pilots. Sam Thompson with a 268 average, 3 home runs, and 39 runs batted in. Steps in to face Sam Lever. So thanks for coming to the ballpark tonight, and for those of you checking the game out after in this Ned McGreevy Baseball League, the 1-0 from Lever. Sam Thompson skies this one to right. Casey Stengel has it in his sights, and subsequently in his glove. One up and one down for first baseman Fred Tenney. Fred Tenney hitting .307 with 31 runs batted in. The Spiders coming into this game in second place at 72 and 65. Bellingham at 69 and 68. Sam Lever delivers to the lefty Tenney. 2-2 pitch, curveball. Tenney swings, chopper up the middle. Huggins coming in on this quickly and making a great play to throw into George Sisler, all in one motion to retire Tenney for the second out. Napoleon Lajoie leading the league in everything almost. .340 average, a home run, 90 runs batted in. Lever uncorks at the 0-1 to Lajoie, base hit to left, and here goes Lajoie again as Delahanty gets the ball back in to shortstop Bill White. So home run Baker with a 14-game hitting streak. Lajoie aboard with 23 steals on the season. Lever has the sign from catcher Doc Bouchon. Here is the wind in the 2-1 pitch to Baker. Baker swings, and this one up the middle, so Baker extends his hitting streak. Lajoie rounding second as Roush gets to the ball, and Lajoie will make third easily. Robbie Wartburg and Big Clue saying hi. Welcome in, guys. Doing an earlier broadcast tonight, so that way if we want to go longer, we can, and Robbie Wartburg can still do his thing as well. 2 away, Lajoie on third, top of the first, no score, as Demi Hoy steps in the box against Sam Lever. Hoy 177, 2 home runs, 43 runs batted in. So again, welcome to game 138 of this season. Lever from the stretch in the 1-1 pitch. Curveball, Hoy, liner right to Tex Wisterzil at third. So Cleveland strands one, and we go to the bottom of the first. Cleveland nothing, and the Bellingham barehanded wolf chokers coming to back. Leading off, George Sisler against Jim Bagby. Sisler hitting .249, 38 runs batted in for Gorgeous George. Bats from the left. Bagby winds and delivers the 1-1. Sisler swings. Easy ground ball to second. Lajoie up with it. And on to Fred Tenney for the 4-3 putout. 1 up, 1 down here in the bottom of the first. And there is MV. So some of the usual suspects here tonight, or today. MV, this game should be of particular interest to you as second place Cleveland battling Bellingham. Bellingham trying to play a little spoiler baseball. Still an outside horse in this race is Bellingham. Game above 500. So very pivotal game in our league. The Mighty Might, Miller Huggins, 236 and 28 runs batted in. Tenney in at first, Baker in at third, looking bunt. Bagby lets it go, the 2-0 delivery. Huggins, chopper to short. Chapman ranges to his left, up with it and over to Fred Tenney for the putout. 2 down here in the bottom of the first, and Ed Delahanty steps in. The Bellingham left fielder hitting .266, 8 home runs, 70 runs batted in. Bagby kicks and fires the 0-1 delivery. Fastball chopped to third, and Frank Baker gobbles up the ball, but not enough time to make the throw as Delahanty gets to first on the infield hit. Ed Delahanty with 29 steals. Here's center fielder Ed Roush splitting playing time with Ty Cobb. Roush hitting .243 with a home run, 38 runs batted in. Clinton Parks coming in also. Clinton says, so does that mean I can tell you Cobb has a sacrifice fly, flies into a 9-9-3-5 double play, and singles knocking in 3 runs, but only credited for 2 and a 5-2 victory over the Browns? Yes, you can, and you have said it. All right. And yet Bagby is Manchester's nemesis, indeed, MV, and we can even go back and look at reports and see how Bagby, we can even generate reports to see how starters did on each start. So anyhow, back to the game. Delahanty at first, Ed Roush. Bagby throws over, and Delahanty dives in, and just safe under the Fred Tenney sweep tag. Bagby comes home with it, the 0-1 delivery. Roush swings, base hit up the middle. Oh, this one deflects off of Bagby and goes in to left field. Jimmy Sheckard having trouble holding on to the ball. The runners are going to advance. So it's a single, and they're going to charge an E7 on Jimmy Sheckard. 2 in scoring position. That was a bizarre play. So this goes off the leg of Bagby, gets past Chapman and short. Sheckard, surprised by the ball, gets to it, but not in time. Runners advance. So Bellingham threatening here with 2 outs in the bottom of the first. And the young professor, Casey Stengel, now in the box. The lefty hitting .251, a home run, 49 runs batted in on the season. Bagby in a little bit of trouble here from the stretch to Stengel. Count even. Changeup sent to left field. This one back, and Sheckard making a fine running catch. No runs, 2 hits, 1 error, 2 left on. We've played 1, and we are scoreless. So Bellingham letting an opportunity go by the board. Jimmy Sheckard, Roger Bresnahan, and Ray Chapman due up for Cleveland here in the top of the second inning. Jimmy Sheckard hitting .218 with 30 runs batted in. Sam Lever lets it go. The 0-1 delivery swung on. This changeup sent to center field. Roush going back and makes the catch. 1 down. Score that one F8. And here is Roger Bresnahan. The Duke of Tralee hitting .260 with 12 home runs. Lever delivers the 1-2 pitch. Swung on, chopper to short. Bill White up with it, and in one fluid motion throws on to Sisler at first to retire Bresnahan for the second out. Shortstop Ray Chapman, who Robbie making an announcement about what's coming up on his channel in parallel with his 1914 Federal League project. You'll be seeing Ray Chapman in that other project. But Robbie will talk about that, or type about that, I guess, when he does it. So, but look in the comments section on YouTube if you subscribe to Robbie's channel, and why don't you, to find out what his next project is. Lever delivers now to Chapman, the 0-1. Curveball chopped up the middle. Huggins up with it and over. George Sisler making the stretch and the retrieval to retire Chapman. So Cleveland goes in order. We go to the bottom of the second. We are scoreless. Teams tied in hits. Teams also each left stranded 2 men. Spiders leading in errors, 1-0. Tex Wisterzo, Bill White, and Doc Bouchon due up for the Wolf Chokers. Second baseman Wisterzo hitting .213 with 43 runs batted in. Bresnahan sets the target. Bagby sets and fires the 1-0 delivery. Chopper up the middle, and Lajoie's going to have to hurry his throw, and this is going to be close, and it's a bad throw. But Wisterzo staying around the ball, or Tenney staying around the ball, I'm sorry. So Wisterzo safe at first, and that is going to be an error on Chapman. So I had said Lajoie, my apologies. It was Chapman had to come in quickly on that ball. Bad throw there. Or no, it was. Sorry, looking at this again. Got to ask Dave Cook to change this. Black on red never ever works. So it was Lajoie. Let's look at this again. Yeah, indeed. Sorry, Mr. Chapman. So Lajoie had to come in shallow and quickly on this ball and hurries his throw. Wistersill able to make it to first. So that's an E4. Tex Wistersill with 27 steals in the season. So Bellingham looking at potential go-ahead run at first. And here is Bill White. The shortstop hitting .223, 5 home runs, 55 runs batted in. Bagby delivers, throws over, and Wistersill safe ahead of the tag. And there is cousin Ken Castro. The delivery home, the 1-1 pitch, and there goes Wistersill. The hit and run was on with White swinging away. Fouled off the third base sign. This will make it into the seats. White back in, the 1-2 delivery. Runner does not go. Bill White, ground ball to first, and this is going to be an infield hit for White. Tenney not able to hold on to the ball, so that is not going to be an error. This one under his glove. Tenney giving chase. Wistersill makes it to second. 2 aboard, nobody out. That is the third error by the Cleveland Spiders, and we are just in the bottom of the second inning. To score that one in E3, and here is Doc Bouchon hitting just 183, 2 home runs, 35 runs batted in. Bagby with a check of the runners. Speed and Wisterzill at second. The delivery home, the 2-0 pitch to Bouchon, fastball. This one chopped to third. Chapman up with it. He will go to first for the shore out, but Bouchon turning on the Jets, and he is safe. And Bellingham now with the bases jammed, and here's pitcher Sam Lever. So MV, the manager of Manchester, commenting that Bagby has been the nemesis of Cleveland, for Cleveland against his own team, Manchester. Tonight or today, it is Cleveland, actually, its own nemesis. 3 errors, and now the bases are loaded. And here's Sam Lever. Infield in at the corners. Bagby into his delivery. The 1-1 pitch to Lever. Lever swings, chops this one down to first. Tenney up with it. He's going to go home with it, and the tag is not in time. Tex Wisterzill scores. Bases are loaded. It's 1-0 Bellingham here in the bottom of the second inning. Bellingham looking to reach the 70-win threshold in the league. Big Clue says, I think going forward, his #1 requirement for any baseball sim will be that they make the heinous ghost runner rule optional for the game. And that's what I love about with Out of the Park Baseball and with Action PC. That is optional. And as long as I'm doing baseball on this channel, I mean, and if I would ever do modern baseball, there will be no ghost runners ever, ever, ever. That's what we did as kids. Ghost runner on second. All right. MV being the good sportsman, saying such a shame about the errors, which could ruin Bagby's performance. Cleveland trying to keep pace with Manchester. Manchester widening its lead. 5 games in front right now, and we are getting down to the tail end of this season. Real close now. And I have no idea. Something popped up on Steam. I'll check it later. All right. Bases loaded for George Sisler. We're back at the top of the Bellingham order. He grounded to second back in the first. Bagby deals the 0-1 delivery. Sisler, base hit up the middle. Bill White will score. Doc Bouchon is rounding third. And Bouchon will hold. It is 2-0 Bellingham here in the bottom of the second. Still nobody out. And here's Miller Huggins. So this is a nightmare inning for Cleveland. Huggins grounded to short back in the first. Jim Bagby working from the stretch. Huggins swinging on the first pitch. Fly ball to shallow center. Dummy Hoy coming in on it. Makes the catch. Bouchon will tag, and he will score the third Bellingham run. 3-0 Bellingham here in the bottom of the second. Ed Delahanty 1-for-1, possible double play situation here. Infield single for Delahanty back in the first. Bagby needs to make a huge, huge pitch right here. Here's the 1-1 to Delahanty. Fly ball to center. Hoy coming in on it, very shallow. And the runners will hold. So that was a pretty big pitch there to induce the shallow fly out in center. And here is Ed Roush, who is 1-for-1. Singled in the first. Bagby delivers now with 2 on and 2 down. Roush swings, base hit to left. Lever is coming around third as Schechter comes up with the ball. And Lever will score, and Sisler is nailed at home. But the run does score. Sisler got a little bit greedy there. But 4 runs score for Bellingham when we go to the top of the third. Or the top of the third, and it is 4-0. Jing Bagby, and then top of the order, Sam Thompson and Fred Tenney. Bagby as a hitter is 0-for-16 on the season. Lever's 0-2 delivery. Bagby skies this one to right. Stengel goes back on it, and Roush, calling off Roush. Stengel brings it down for out number 1. Bleacher Bums Gaming says, "What's up, Beatles?" And I'm saying to Bleacher Bums Gaming, "What's up, Bleacher Bums Gaming?" Caught a little bit of the boxing match today. I'll be checking the rest of it out. Anthony from Bleacher Bums Gaming doing an awesome boxing match on his game, Glory Days Boxing. All right, here is right fielder Sam Thompson. So, guys, if you haven't subscribed to Bleacher Bums Gaming, please do so. Hover over his name, the three dots, go to channel, subscribe, hit the bell to get all notifications. Thompson is 0 for 1, gave it a ride to deep right. And that was back in the first. And for Jen Bagby and Cleveland, that first inning seems like an eternity past. 4-0 Bellingham lead here. Lever brings it home, the 1-0 delivery, and Thompson, chopper to short, White up with it, and making the throw to gorgeous George Sisler to retire Thompson. Out number 2, so Lever right now having just scattered 2 hits. Fred Tenney now, first baseman, grounded to second back in the first. Lever delivers to Tenney, the 2-1 delivery. Bounding ball, ground ball to third. Wisterzo, the throw across the diamond to Sisler to retire Tenney and the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. We've played 2.5. It's Bellingham 4, Cleveland nothing. And MV, he can't tell you that. We're going to do that before the final game of this league, before we go into the World Series. But we did ask Robbie to auto play it out about 3 weeks ago. So you guys will have to stay tuned. It'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a lot of fun. All right, Casey Stengel will lead it off for Bellingham. The number 5, 6, 7 hitters due up for Bellingham. Casey Stengel, Tex Wisterzo, and Bill White. Stengel flied to deep left center back in the first. Jim Bagby with the 2-0 delivery. Stengel swings. Chopper to second. Lajoie up with it. Underhand toss to Tenney. And Stengel is out. Stengel with good speed, so nice work by Lajoie to stay on that and not hurry his throw. 1 down for Tex Wisterzo, 0 for 1. Safe on a throwing error. Back in the second, and that began the Cleveland nightmare that was the bottom of the second. Bagby comes home with it now. 1-0. And come back to the mound. Bagby quickly off the hill to his right. Throws on to Tenney to retire Wisterzo. Out number 2. Bagby's job is to try to keep these Wolf Chokers quiet so Cleveland can get back in the game. White is 0 for 1. Safe on an error in the second. Bagby comes home with it now. The 2-1 pitch. Grounder to Tenney, and he waves off Bagby to take this one unassisted. We go to the 4th. Score still 4-0. Robbie is bound by Omerta. There we go. All right, Napoleon Lajoie to lead it off, the number 3, 4, 5 hitters for the reiteration, or the new version, if you will, of the Cleveland Spiders. Lajoie in the game, singled back in the first, owning only 1 of 2. There's only 2 hits. He owns 1 of them for Cleveland. Lever comes home with it, 2-2 pitch, and Lajoie sends this one to left, but the park will easily hold it as Delahanty, running back on this one, makes the nice running catch. 1 up, 1 down for home run Baker. Baker has extended his hitting streak today, so it's now at 15 games with a single back in the first. He is the other hit for Cleveland. Lever brings it home. Baker swinging on the first pitch, pops it on the infield. Delahanty coming in. Wisterzo going out. Wisterzo making the call and the catch. 2 up, 2 down for center fielder Dummy Hoy. Aaron Reed, I've been messaging you all day on Discord. I need your email, so please send me that in a private message in Discord so I can send you a version of Old Time Baseball that is all ready to rock and roll. If you don't give me that, I can't give you access to it because it's a 600 megabyte file or something. Okay, so please do that. I would appreciate it. I didn't forget about you. I've been trying to reach you all day, and it says you were playing RetroArch all day. So you do have 2 private messages. Okay, well, I can't do it right now, but yeah, so go ahead and get your email in, and then I'll share that particular file with you. All right, back to game action here. 2 down for Dummy Hoy. He's 0 for 1, line to third back in the first. Sam Lever, no strikeouts, no walks, lets it go. The 3-1 to Hoy. Fly ball to center. This should be routine for Ed Roush. And a few paces to his left, and indeed it is. We go to the bottom of the 4th. The score remains Bellingham 4, Cleveland nothing. Doc Bouchon, Sam Lever, and George Sisler due up for Bellingham. Bagby wants to keep these guys quiet. Was able to do so in the 3rd. Will try to do so now in the 4th. Bagby also no strikeouts and no walks. The 1-0. Fastball chopped up the middle. Lajoie up with it. Great range by Lajoie on to Fred Tenney for out number 1. Bellingham crowd rather disappointed with that, but when you have Nap Lajoie at second, miracles are routine. Sam Lever, nothing for 1. So with the bases loaded, he grounded to first, scoring Tex Wisterzil. Bagby comes home with it. The 3-0 pitch to Lever. Lever lays off. This one just missing outside. Bagby wanting the call. Not getting it. Lever aboard. And we're back at the top of the order, and gorgeous George Sisler. RBI single back in the 2nd, scoring Bill White. Lever conservative lead at first as Bagby brings it home. The 1-0 delivery. Sisler cuts on this one. Chopper to 3rd. Baker up with it. He'll go to Lajoie. Lajoie on the pivot to Fred Tenney, and it's the pitcher's best friend. The inning-ending double play. We go to the top of the 5th. 4-0 your score. Fun all-star game last night that turned into a doubleheader. The Dublin Nuffseds, which are the all-star team in our Ned McGreevy League, dropped 1 in extras to the 1929 Philadelphia A's 4-3 in Game 2. The Dublin Nuffseds won 1-0 against the 1934 St. Louis Cardinals. The first game brilliantly managed by Ken Castro, and the second game a pretty fun pitching duel between 2 greats of the game, Johnson and Dean. We also saw a very dominant, though brief, pitching performance in Game 1 last night by Rube Waddell. We saw Christy Mathewson not able to get the job done. Pete Alexander. So we saw, in the first game, we saw every player but 1 on the Dublin Nuffseds. In the second, pretty much a straight-up ball game. A lot of fun. Not a lot of people were here for it, but for those of you that were, I thank you very, very, very much. Jimmy Scheckard leads it off now, left fielder for Cleveland. He flied out to deep left center back in the 2nd. Lever brings it home. The 0-1 delivery to Jimmy. Chopper up the middle. Huggins up with it. Huggins throws on to Sisler as if to tell Lajoie, I can do what you do. Well, Huggins was a good third baseman, but Lajoie really in a class by himself. Roger Bresnahan now 0 for 1. Cranks and Cranklets. He grounded to short back in the 2nd. Lever brings it home. Full count on Bresnahan, and Lever missing with the payoff pitch. This one, a little worm killer in front of the plate. So, 1 on. Roger Bresnahan with 8 steals in the season. Ray Chapman 0 for 1. Steps in the right-hand side of the box, grounded to 2nd, back in the 2nd. Lever checks the runner, throws over. Sisler applies the tag, but Bresnahan back safely. Lever comes home with it, the 1-0 delivery to Chapman. Chapman swings. This one popped high in the infield. Wisterzil calling for it as Delahanty moving in from left, and Wisterzil makes the catch. Infield fly rule in effect. Bresnahan holds first, 2 down. Cleveland pitcher Jim Bagby 0 for 1. Fly to deep right center his last time up. Bresnahan holds first. And this one, a very, very close call. Sisler almost gets the tag onto Bresnahan. Lever now deals to Bagby, 2-2. Bagby swings, fly ball to center field. Roush going back on this a little bit and brings it down. Cleveland just not getting it done here. We go to the bottom of the fifth. It's Bellingham 4, Cleveland nothing. And depending upon how Manchester does tonight, Cleveland could be fading out of this. And remember, though, not a big deal for Cleveland. For Cleveland right now, the thing for them is to try to maintain second place, as the first and second place teams will meet in a 3-game World Series. And as of game 138, it looks like it will be Manchester and Cleveland. But Cleveland feeling some heat coming up from behind, and not in the good way. Well, actually, we don't have any cranklets in the park, so never mind. There is no good way for us. Anyhow, so Huggins sacrificed back in the second, scoring Doc Bouchard. Jim Bagby with one walk in this game brings it home to the Mighty Might. The 1-0 curve, base hit for Huggins into right center. Dummy Hoy comes in, gets it into Lajway. Huggins at first. Huggins with 34 steals, definite speed, and here's Ed Delahanty. He was 1 for 2. Delahanty singled, infield single in the first, and fly to shallow center in the second. Huggins has a good lead at first. Bagby with a check of the runner. Runner does not go. Delahanty swings, base hit into center. Huggins with good speed, rounding second, but they're going to flash the stop sign. So Bellingham possibly trying to load him up and chip away some more here, adding some runs. Ed Roush, a perfect 2 for 2 today at the dish. Single in the first, and RBI single in the second, scoring Sam Lever. And that was the play that George Sisler was gunned down at third. Jim Bagby winds and fires the 0-2 to Ed Roush, and Roush, strike 3 called. So 1 down, Cleveland looking for the double play again, and here's Casey Stengel. Nothing for 2. He is flied out and grounded to second. Bagby with a check of the runners. Fleet-footed, both of them. Here is the pitch, the 0-2 to Stengel. And Stengel, that is a called strike 3. So big strikeout. Jim Bagby picking up K number 2. And here is the hot corner man for Bellingham, Tex Wisterzo. He's nothing for 2. Safe on a throwing error in the second, and grounded out to Bagby in the third. 2 on, 2 out, 4-0 Bellingham score. The 2-1 from Bagby. Fastball sent to left field, routine for Jimmy Sheckard, and he brings it in. So Bagby picking up another scoreless inning after that disastrous second. We go to the top of the 6th, and it is still 4-0. All right, thank you very much from Aaron Reed for that. I know you haven't, Robbie. That's okay. You can look it up, though. It's Googleable. All right. Sam Thompson now will lead it off in the 6th. So that was for those who may have heard of Omerta. Sam Thompson flied to very deep right and grounded to short. You're not going to hear, also considering where you live, Robbie, there's not a lot of Siciliani or Southern Italians in your area, and Cosa Nostra pretty much non-existent in Texas, no matter what this silly new series starring Sylvester Stallone. They're just not in Texas. So I'm not surprised that you would not have heard of Omerta. All right, the delivery now to Thompson, the 2-2. Thompson swings, fly ball to left. Delahanty going back on the ball and makes the catch. 1 down. Beautiful day here in Washington State for baseball. 79 degrees. Wind shifting around now, coming in from right field. Lever delivers to Fred Tenney, who is nothing for 2. Chopper to second. Huggins making a nice play, but a bad throw. So Huggins makes the stop, but hurries his throw to Sisler. Sisler able to just get to the ball to keep Tenney from going to second. That is the 30th error on the season for Huggins. And Tenney aboard with one down. Fred Tenney has 11 steals this year. And Napoleon Lajoie batting in the third slot is 1 for 2. Lever with a check of Tenney at first. The 0-1 coming home. Lajoie liner right to Sisler, and Sisler just misses, doubling up Tenney. Tenney was paying attention there. Good heads up. Sisler almost got him. Close play at first. 2 down for home run Baker, who is 1 for 2, extending his inning streak. Lever brings it home. The 1-2. Baker, liner right to Bill White, making a leaping grab. So a little doff of the cap to him, and we go to the bottom of the 6th. It is still 4-0. Bellingham scoring all of its runs in the bottom of the 2nd. Sam Lever working on a 2-hitter right now. Pardon me. The line thus far for Bellingham, 4-7-1, and for Cleveland, 0-2-3. Bellingham has stranded 5. Cleveland has stranded 4. Bill White, 0 for 2 against Bagby. Here is the wind and the 2-2 pitch. Curveball, base hit into center field, just past Lajoie. Lajoie making a superb attempt at that ball, but too much velocity for the great second baseman, and Bill White aboard. So Bill White with 27 steals on the season. And here's Doc Bouchon. Bouchon pretty decent at the hit and run play. We'll see if Bellingham wants to go with that or not. The Bellingham manager not here, so the computer taking it for the Bellingham, making all the plays for the Bellingham manager. White with a good lead at first. Bagby, the 2-1. The runner does not go. Bouchon chops this one to Chapman. Chapman to Lajoie. Lajoie onto Fred Tenney. And double play. So a hit and run might have prevented that with good speed at first, but 2 away. Sam Lever, 0 for 1. Walked back in the 4th. Bagby with the 2-1 pitch to Lever. Cut on and fouled back. Lever back in the box. Yep, with a name like Wartburg, you probably wouldn't be. It's usually, Italian, Irish, and Jewish. Murder Incorporated, right? It was mostly Jewish. A few Italians and an Irishman or two in Murder Incorporated. Bagby now delivers to Lever. Fly ball to right field, and back on it is Sam Thompson. Side retired, no runs, 1 hit, no errors. 6 in the books here, and it's 4-0. And so in that respect, Robbie, I mean, it's an interesting study, but yeah, maintain your innocence there, buddy. But Omerta actually just isn't about the mafia. Omerta literally means silence. So it is a word in Italian. Though it's not commonly used. All right, Dummy Hoy is 0 for 2. He leads it off for Cleveland here in the top of the 7th. Lever brings it home to Hoy. The 1-0 delivery. Chopper to second. Huggins. And makes the pick easily. And underhand toss to George Sisler. 1 away. And here's Jimmy Sheckard. Yeah, absolutely it is, Anthony. It is big in Latin American cartels. Yes, it is. MV talking about Joe Valachi. If you look at Frank Costello and his testimony before the Congressional Committee, he was great. The senator asked, and of course Frank Costello, one of the Dons, who was running. It was when Lucky Luciano was in prison, and then would be later deported. Frank Costello. Which Costello is actually an Irish name. It sounds Italian, but it's Irish. His original name was Castiglia, and he changed it to Costello. But anyhow, the senator asked him, so, as an American citizen now, you're supposed to be defending the Constitution, doing good things for the government. He said, what good things have you done for your government? Costello sat there for about a minute and a half, and he said, I paid my taxes. And the whole gallery, everything just broke out. So brilliant. Joe Valachi was a low-ranking soldier. Um, his testimony was huge. Just taking a quick detour here, since there's organized crime, there is some organized crime that played around in baseball, specifically Arnold Rothstein. But this is a bit after Rothstein's time. But for decades, the FBI, headed by ladies' underwear wearing J. Edgar Hoover, actually denied the existence of Cosa Nostra. And it was Valachi's explosive testimony that began to force the FBI's hand, and things went forward from there. And the only other sort of big thing on Cosa Nostra was in Appalachian in 1957. There was a big organized crime meeting in upstate New York, but even then, Hoover would not admit to the existence of Cosa Nostra. So interesting stuff. Back to the game now. Jimmy Sheckard, one down. Sheckard is 0 for 2. Lever delivers. Full count to Sheckard. And Sheckard lays off and draws the walk. So Sam Lever issuing his second free pass of the game, and here's Roger Bresnahan. Jimmy Sheckard with 20 steals in the season, one away. Delivery to the Duke of Tralee, count even on him. Bresnahan swings, chopper to second. Huggins will go to White, and White goes back to Sisler for the 4-6-3 inning-ending double play. 7th inning stretch time, 4-0 Bellingham. He indeed has a place in baseball infamy. Yep, Rothstein, the man behind the fix, and Frank Costello was a stand-up guy, absolutely. Just maintaining your innocence, Robbie, in that don't become a connected guy, is all I'm saying. As far as innocence in other areas, nah. You can go have fun. All right, anyhow, Robbie doing 2 projects on his channel, so keep up with that. Fun, and I think for different reasons, baseball fans will be attracted to each one. One, a sort of, a third major league, if you will, and that's 1914. Well, 1914, 1915 Federal League. Robbie right now doing 1914. And then the other one, which if he hasn't announced, he will. Actually, he has on his channel, so I guess I can say it. In his comments, it's a 1920 replay. Because I decided I didn't want to do a replay of a season, and I thought, hey, Robbie said, hey, I'll do it. So we'll be doing it on a Baseball for Windows. However, the Black Sox players, Gandil, of course, his final year was 1919 anyhow, but the other 7 Black Sox players, Robbie is playing out as if those 7 players are not Landist, if you were. And I'm assuming he's going to work out a way to have Ray Chapman play through the season. I don't know about that, but he did mention the 7 Black Sox players. So if that hasn't begun, it will be shortly. Robbie has a poll up right now. If you want to be kind enough and answer that poll, he's asking people whether he wants each broadcast that he does of Baseball for Windows to be project specific, or a doubleheader with like Federal League is game 1 and 1920 is game 2. So to give Robbie your feedback and subscribe. Back to action here now in the bottom of the 7th. George Sisler 1 for 3. RBI single back in the 2nd. Sisler also gunned down at 3rd, getting a little bit greedy earlier in the game. Bagby brings it home. That was back in the 2nd. Sisler, routine ground ball to short. Chapman up with it easily to retire Sisler. Chapman making but with a runner like Sisler, even a routine play, you don't want to hurry that throw. Sisler can hurt you. Miller Huggins 1 for 3. Sacrifice back in the second, scoring Bouchon, and a single to center in the fifth. Bagby now with the 1-0 delivery. And a little ground ball to first. Fred Tenney handles this one easily. 3 unassisted, 2 away. And Delahanty now 2 for 3. Singled back in the fifth and back in the first. So 2 for 3. Good day for Delahanty. 2 away. Bagby winds and fires. Delahanty swinging on the first pitch. This one, oh, what a great play by Napoleon Lajoie. Diving stop, gets up and makes the throw to get the speedy Delahanty. Inning over. We go to the 8th. It is 4-0 Bellingham. Sam Lever, the 2 hitters, still going. The only 2 hits against Sam Lever have been Napoleon Lajoie and a home run Baker. Ray Chapman steps in. The 0-1. Chapman swings. Routine fly ball to center, and Stengel had it played perfectly. 1 up, 1 down for Jim Bagby now. Bagby has flied out twice against Lever. Lever brings it home, the 1-1. Bagby chopping ground ball to short, high hopped, and Bill White able to hang on to that ball and getting a throw across to Sisler. 2 down quickly here in the 8th, and here's Sam Thompson. The right fielder has flied out twice and grounded to short. Lever with the 1-2 delivery, and he hits Sam Thompson. That one way inside. I think Lever just lost control of the ball. With a 2-hitter, you're not going to purposely plunk somebody. Sam Thompson, 26 steals in the season, unless, of course, you're Bob Gibson and somebody smiled at you when you're at the plate, glared at you when you're in the plate, took too long for you to get in the box. If you were Bob Gibson's grandma. But other than that, Tenney has grounded out all 3 times, but in the 6th was safe on an error. Thompson at first with 26 steals. 2 down. Sam Lever delivers, and Fred Tenney grounds this one to short, and White will go to Huggins to retire Thompson and the side, and we go to the bottom of the 8th. The score remains 4-0. And the number 4, 5, 6 hitters for the Bellingham Barehanded Wolf Chokers: Ed Roush, Casey Stengel, and Tex Wisterzo. Roush 2 for 3. And Roush has himself an RBI back in the 2nd. Bagby with the 0-2 to Roush. Roush swings. Bagby off the hill. Over to Tenney. This is going to be close. And Roush, they just get him by a step. So 1 away. Ed Roush has definite speed. So good play by Bagby and Tenney to retire the speedy Ed Roush. Casey Stengel, 0 for 3. Steps in from the left-hand side of the box. Bagby with the 1-0 delivery. Stengel swings, chopper to first. Fred Tenney will take it to the bag unassisted to retire Stengel. 2 down here for third baseman Tex Wisterzo. 2 ground outs and a fly out equal 0 for 3. Bagby comes home with it, the 0-2. Wisterzo swings. Fly ball to shallow center. Damihoy comes in and makes the catch. We go to the 9th. Cleveland with 3 chances to try to tie this up. Napoleon Lajoie, 1 for 3, will lead it off. The number 3, 4, 5 hitters for the Cleveland Spiders. Lajoie lined to first his last time up. Lever with the 3-1. Lajoie showing a good eye up there. Lays off, and Lever has issued his 3rd walk. Lajoie with 23 steals. And here's home run Baker. Again, it's only been Lajoie and Baker that have gotten hits off of Sam Lever. The 1-2 pitch now to home run Baker. Baker swings, hard grounder to first, and Lajoie. So it looks like, so Sisler had it, and it dropped it, and then by the time he retrieves it, Baker is aboard. So Lajoie at second, Baker at first. A chance for Cleveland to cut this lead in half here in the 9th inning. Damihoy, 0 for 3. Sam Lever works now with a 1-1 pitch. Fastball. Hoy hits this one up the middle. Huggins to White to Sisler for the double play. And Napoleon Lajoie will make it to third. So 2 down. And it's up to Jimmy Sheckard to try to keep this thing going. And we've seen a few games here in our Ned McGreevy League, 2 outs, where we've had serious rallies. Sheckard nothing for 2, and he walked in the 7th. Lever from the stretch, and the 0-1 to Jimmy Sheckard. Sheckard swings, base hit into right field. Sheckard will pick up the RBI as Lajoie comes in to score. It's now 4-1 Bellingham. Jimmy Sheckard with 20 steals. Roger Bresnahan, nothing for 2. Lever with a check of the runner, throws over. Sheckard back ahead of the Sisler tag. And once again, Lever throwing over. Sheckard back easily. Good lead at first, though. Sam Lever now delivers. Bresnahan, pitch out, nothing going. Bellingham trying to keep Sheckard honest here. Sam Lever into his wind, and the 1-0 delivery. And we skip ahead in time, of course, and Bresnahan draws the walk. And now all of a sudden, the tying run comes to the plate. Now in today's baseball, you would say a swing of the bat, and this one's tied up. Could happen, but Ray Chapman just 1 home run thus far in the season. One could say he's due. Nothing for 3, however, in the game. He is grounded out, popped out, and flied out. Sheckard at second, Bresnahan at first. 2 down, 4-1, Bellingham lead, tying run at the plate. Jing Bagby waits on deck. Should Chapman get on? Lever with the wind and the 1-2 pitch to Chapman. And this game ends with Sam Lever striking out the only batter in the entire game. And Bellingham wins this one 4-1 over Cleveland. Do a quick recap of this one. So Cleveland falling to 72 and 66. Bellingham improves to 70 and 68. So Bellingham now another team getting to the 70 win threshold. The line for Bellingham, 4 runs, 8 hits, 2 errors. For the Cleveland team, 1 run, 3 hits, 3 errors. No real highlights to speak about in terms of hitters. Sam Lever improves to 12 and 18. Jim Bagby falls to 5 and 5. So Bagby tagged with the loss, walked 1, struck out 2 in innings of work. Sam Lever, 1 run, it was not earned. 3 hits, walked 4, struck out 1. It was an inning-ending, or a strikeout to end the game. The MVP is Sam Lever. The game-winning RBI also Sam Lever. So there we go. And we will autoplay. And then I guess that's it. Bloop, bloop, blast. Your goal in life. Well, we all have to have goals, right? Thank you, Anthony. I appreciate you. And appreciate you stopping by, as always. All right, guys. Right now, Cleveland. And guys, make sure to please check into Anthony's channel. Baseball, boxing, all kinds of stuff. Gentleman, scholar, even though he's a Brit. Nah, we love you, Anthony. Besides, my favorite band is British, even though 3 of them are of Irish extraction. All right. But anyhow, Bleacher Bums Gaming, Glory Days Boxing, waiting for that baseball game. Hopefully it will come out at some point. We're looking for it. Yeah, MV. I'm unlike a lot of Irishmen. I don't have loathing, deep loathing for the Brits. Just the ones who shot the Irish civil rights workers. But that's a whole nother story. Way back. British people are awesome. Actually been binge watching a lot of very early British history, 5th, 6th century stuff. Brilliant. In fact, British history has been a lifelong passion of mine. So I actually do have a great love for the British. Just give us back our country. Anyhow. So before we auto play these other games, I don't think I'm going to do a doubleheader, even though it is early. I don't know. We'll see. But right now, Manchester 6.5 ahead of Cleveland. We were talking about that heat. So Butler is just 7 games out along with Philadelphia, and Philadelphia plays Arsenal tonight. We may do a doubleheader. We shall see. But we're going to go ahead, I think, and autoplay. I'm just trying to see what game is going to be. Um, Carolina and Providence. Providence, a game above 500. Carolina below. I think we will do. What will we do here? Philadelphia is in the race as well. We could do Philadelphia Arsenal. Um, we have MV here. He could certainly manage Manchester if he would like. So we're going to autoplay the games that we're not going to play out. If that makes any sense? I hope so. So Carolina and Providence, we've seen these teams a lot. We'll autoplay. And Providence edges Carolina 5-4. This one went 11 innings. Taylor gets the win. Jack Taylor goes to 11-11, and Chief Bender gets the loss, falls to 4-5. Zach Wheat went 3-4 for Carolina in a losing cause. Liverpool and Butler. Liverpool a game below 500, and Butler 5 games above. And Liverpool playing a little bit of a spoiler here, edging Butler 3-2. Rube Marquardt gets the win. He goes to 9-10. Pud Galvin tagged with a loss. He goes to 22-16. And that leaves 2 possible games to play. So Arsenal's managers here and Manchester's managers here. MV says he will manage. All right, so we will autoplay Philadelphia and Arsenal. Arsenal trying to play spoiler baseball. Arsenal eliminated 64-73 coming into this game. Philadelphia at 71-66. And here we go. And Arsenal does indeed play the spoiler, and handily, I might add. Blanking Philadelphia 5-0. Stan Kovaleski with the win. He goes to 7-4. Christy Mathewson drops to 20-14. And now we have Manchester hosting St. Louis. And here we go. St. Louis looking to play some spoiler baseball here. All right. So MV, you have asked for, but we're going to do it this way. There we go, because we did finally set lineups for you. If you want to revise your lineup, we can. We're going to go to your rotation or to your pitchers, and let me see. It's Walter Johnson. Walter Johnson. The big train is in there. And let's do this. Robbie Wertberg saying, yeah, we gave the world Mr. Bean, enough said. This says Bleacher Bums Gaming. Yes, and you gave the world the Beatles, Monty Python's Flying Circus, so much. One of the most enduring legends of all, which the rest of the world has contributed to. Of course, the legend of King Arthur, which is some of the things I did in my advanced studies in graduate school. No, the Brits have given a lot. The greatest, the largest empire the world has ever known. At one time it was said the sun never set on the British Empire, and that was geographically true. It wasn't just hyperbole. All right, so what do you want to do with your lineup here there, MV? Is it's up if you want to change anything up. Manchester, breathe a little easy with the Cleveland loss. We'll see who gains, who loses some grounds in Game 2 of our doubleheaders. All good? All right. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Let's do this, man. I believe you are, actually. It's going to be nice to see St. Louis, some of these players. We haven't seen them in a while. Great players in this St. Louis team. Welcome to Ebbets Field for today's game between St. Louis and Manchester. Manchester has won 8 straight. So indeed, 8-game winning streak for Manchester. And they've won 9 of their last 10. Or if we want to be proper, we should say it has won 9 of the last 10. However you want to do it. Whether it's American English, British English, it's all good. Larry Corcoran will make the start for St. Louis. He's trying to avoid his 20th loss of the season. 33 starts in the year, and he is 14-19 with an earned run average of 3.08. This will be his third go against Manchester, and he's 2-0 with a 0.50 earned run average against them. The big train, Walter Johnson, will take the hill for Manchester. 31 starts in the year, and he is 17-9 with a league-leading ERA of 1.09. This will be his second start against St. Louis. Game time here at Ebbets Field, the home chosen by Manchester. It's 82 degrees, and the wind speed 12 miles per hour, left to right.
Play ball.
All right. And this is where we actually did our second quote-unquote all-star game last night with the Dublin Nuffseds versus the 1934 St. Louis Cardinals. That game was a lot of fun. All right. Fred Clark acquired from the Pittsburgh Pirates. Player manager, left fielder, hitting 207, 14 runs batted in. Fred Clark, of course, in the baseball history collection, and you look at his record. A great player, Hall of Famer, Fred Clark. Walter Johnson has finished his warm-up pitches, and we are underway here. Johnson with the 1-2 delivery now to left fielder Fred Clark for the St. Louis Wolves. And Clark, chopper to short. Joe Tinker coming in, up with the ball. This is going to be close. The throw to Bruthers, and Fred Clark beats it out for the infield single. So Fred Clark aboard, and Fred Clark with 29 steals in a season. Here is shortstop Huey Jennings. Jennings hitting, he's rather disappointing this year for the St. Louis Wolves, hitting a 190, 3 home runs, 32 ribbies. Clark with an aggressive lead at first. Johnson with the check of the runner. Manchester battery ready. The delivery to Jennings now. Nope. Johnson throws over. Clark back ahead of the Dan Bruthers tag. Johnson wheels and deals the 0-1. Jennings gets a good bunt down. Schalk pounces on it, throws to Cupid Childs covering. Fred Clark will make it to scoring position. So one away, Fred Clark at second, and here is Turkey Mike Donlin. Baseball player and sometime film actor, Turkey Mike. 276 hitter, also vaudeville. He has a dinger, 35 runs batted in. Clinton Parks calling steal. Clint, you're the visiting team, so you can make substitutions, but only the home team can call. Unless you were just yelling at Fred to steal, only the home team can call plays. So I didn't want you to think I was ignoring you. All right, Donlin waits for the Johnson delivery. Here is the 2-1 pitch. Donlin swings, chopper to second. Childs up with it onto Bruthers for the 4-3 putout, 2 down. Fred Clark will make it to third. MV. Clinton Park says, of course I was yelling. MV putting up the, probably a bit late there, but see what he wants to do, or if that was for the last play. Clinton was yelling. Clinton Parks, of course, doing the Ned McGreevy League, cards and dice, and he is knocking these games out. I know he's had some things going on right now, and he keeps apologizing for going so slowly. Don't apologize at all, my friend. You've been doing just astounding work. All right. You want to pick off to third, MV, or is the chat really lagging? Will you confirm that you want to pick off to third? With 2 down, I think maybe you were talking way back. Just want to make sure. We have seen. Yeah, I didn't think so. We have seen one attempted steal of home in our league. In one of the games that we broadcasted, it didn't happen, but it was fun to see. Johnson from the stretch. 3-2 to Roger Connor, and Connor draws the walk. So 2 aboard for St. Louis, 2 down. Walter Johnson has issued a walk. He has yet to strike out a batter, and here is Elmer Flick. I remember Big Clue saying that, I think it was Big Clue. And it was somebody, I'm trying to remember if it was Big Clue or Pib, 99, saying that any league in which they played against Elmer Flick, he's always been a terror. I always say this too, a forgotten Hall of Famer. 279 hitter, 3 home runs, 61 runs batted in. Connor takes his lead off first. Clark inching his way down the third base line. Good speed on the base paths for St. Louis as the big train with the 2-2 delivery to Flick. And Flick, that went in there for a called third strike. So Johnson picks up his first strikeout. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left on. We've played 1/2 inning. It's St. Louis nothing, and Manchester coming to bat. Manchester looking for its 9th straight win. Leading off against Larry Corcoran is Jesse Burkett. Burkett riding a 7-game hitting streak. He is hitting a .306 with 38 runs batted in. He'll be followed by Cupid Childs and Dan Bruthers for the Manchester Red Bolts. Corcoran into his motion and the 1-0 delivery. Burkett pops this one on the infield. Lave Cross has it in his sights. Fred Clark creeping in, but Cross calling him off and making the catch. So 1 down. Nice pitch there by Corcoran. Infield now looking bunt against Cupid Childs as he steps in the box. Childs hitting .255, 38 runs batted in. Cross in at third, Connor in at first. Corcoran wheels and deals the 1-1. Childs swings the liner right to Huey Jennings. Jennings had him played perfectly. Backed up about 2 steps, making a nice catch. 2 away, Dan Bruthers. First baseman hitting .311. 6 home runs, 60 runs batted in. We have, I think, 4 300 hitters in this entire league. And I think Bruthers is actually second to Nap Lajoie in batting. Lajoie .340, Bruthers at .311. Corcoran now with a 3-0. Bruthers lays off and draws the walk. So 2 out, a runner aboard for Manchester, and that brings up Chief Wilson, the right fielder, hitting .259. 5 home runs, 66 runs batted in. Wilbert Robinson sets the target for Larry Corcoran. Here is the delivery. Chief Wilson. There goes Bresnahan. Robinson's throw down, and they gun down Bruthers to end the inning. So nothing across. We go to the top of the second, and we are scoreless here at Ebbets Field. Manchester Red Bolts and St. Louis Wolves due up. Lave Cross, Gene de Montreville, and Wilbert Robinson for the St. Louis Wolves. Third baseman Cross hitting .227, 6 home runs, 40 runs batted in. Walter Johnson with a strikeout and a walk. He winds and fires, and Cross sends this one to center field. Chick Stahl brings it down. Can of corn, 1 down. Second baseman Gene de Montreville having a good season for St. Louis, hitting .281, 5 home runs, 45 runs batted in. Stepping in to face the big train, Johnson with the 0-1 pitch. De Montreville swings, chopper to short. Tinker moving quickly to his left, up with it and onto Bruthers for the 6-3 putout of de Montreville. 2 up, 2 down. For Uncle Wilbert Robinson, he would come to call Uncle Wilbert. So beloved in Brooklyn that for a time they were called the Brooklyn Robins. A lot of name changes for Brooklyn before they would finally become the Dodgers officially. In the early 1930s, I believe. Walter Johnson has the sign from Ray Schock. The wind in the 1-2 pitch. 2 down. Robinson swings. Routine fly ball to center. Chick Stahl coming in. Makes the catch. Side retired. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the second. We are scoreless. Tinker ain't no stinker. No, he's not. Fine defensive shortstop. Chief Wilson now back up as Bruthers was caught stealing. Corcoran comes home with the 0-1 to Wilson. Wilson bunts this one foul on the right-hand side. Wilson back in the box, the 0-2 delivery. And Wilson, strike 3 called. So Corcoran picking up a strikeout. 1 down, and here is Chick Stahl. No, Robbie, I was making a comment about Landis. I was saying that if Landis didn't expel the 7 Black Sox players in 1920, that's all I was saying. That's it. No, I know what he looks like. Great head of white hair. Every bit the autocrat and all that kind of stuff. No, but that was it, Robbie. That's what I was just mentioning about Landis, little baseball history. All right, Chick Stahl stands in there, 1 down. Larry Corcoran with the leg kick and the delivery to Chick Stahl. Stahl swinging on the first pitch, grounds this one to third. Leif Cross was playing him shallow and not able to hold on to that ball. Bobbles it, so Stahl making a little bit more contact as Cross was looking bunt. So Stahl aboard on the error. That is an E5, and that's number 15 on Leif Cross. So runner aboard. No, Robbie, Landis was the commissioner of baseball, so there's nothing you can fix in baseball for Windows, but thank you for asking that clarifying question. So that way, don't want you confused, man. Here is one of MB's favorites, Bobby Wallace. Bobby Wallace at third, hitting, though, a rather disappointing 206 for Wallace, 14 RBI. Stahl at first, 18 steals. Corcoran throws over, and Chick Stahl back. Little slap tag there by first baseman Roger Connor. Corcoran deals to Wallace, the 1-2 delivery. Wallace swings, base hit into left center. Turkey Mike Donlin getting to the ball quickly. Stahl round second, and he will hold. Donlin very shallow on that ball. He and Clark converging, but Donlin calling off Clark. Stahl at second, Wallace at first, and here's catcher Ray Schock. Ray Schock, not known as a heavy hitter to begin with, but his average now at 188, 32 runs batted in. If there is a weakness on this Manchester team, Ray Schock certainly would be a candidate for that. Potential double play situation here. Corcoran looking for it as he delivers the 0-1 delivery. Why not? Ground ball. Corcoran goes to Dumontreville. Dumontreville onto Connor, and indeed it is a 1-4-3 double play. So great work by Larry Corcoran. We've played 2 and we are scoreless. St. Louis with a chance to put a little bit of a hurting on Manchester and ended this crazy 8-game hitting streak, or winning streak. Hard to keep stogies lit these days. Larry Corcoran now steps in, and back at the top of the order for the St. Louis Wolves, Fred Clark and Dewey Jennings. Corcoran hitting 136, 11 runs batted in. Oh, I think it's going to make a lot of baseball folks happy. MV says 206 is an improvement. He was really poor midseason. He was. Johnson fires it home. The 1-1 to Corcoran. Corcoran swings on the Johnson fastball. Fly ball to center. Chick Stahl camps under it and makes the catch. 1 down. Top of the order now for the St. Louis Wolves. Left fielder Fred Clark. Infield single back in the first off of Johnson. Johnson with a strikeout and a walk through 2 1/3. Johnson brings it home, the 2-1. Fred Clark, base hit into left field. Clark will round first and hold. Second base hit for St. Louis in the game. Clark with excellent speed. And here is Huey Jennings. Jennings bunted out to catcher, sacrificing Clark to second. And by this time, Clinton yelling, steal, steal, steal. And I certainly would steal with Clark, certainly. Johnson delivers the 1-1. Jennings swings, liner right to Joe Tinker. No, yes it is. Tinker bobbled the ball for a second but held on to it. And here's Turkey Mike Donlin. Donlin with a 7-game hitting streak. Donlin last time grounded to second, advancing Fred Clark to third. Clark into his lead at first, 2 down. The Johnson delivery to Donlin, the 0-1 fastball. What else would you expect? Tinker gets that liner, and that retires the side. And a nice play by Tinker. That one would have gone all the way to the wall. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors. Bottom of the third, we are scoreless in Brooklyn. Joe Tinker, Walter Johnson, and Jesse Burkett. It's so much fun to say all these great, great names. And MV calling for something here, because that just went up. I don't know how bad our lag is. So we'll hold up play here for a moment. MV wanting to know, is there a way to see Shock's defensive value? We can certainly look at your roster, and you can have a Ganda if you'd like. Ignore your hand. Isn't that what somebody once said in Catholic school? Never mind. Okay. All right, Joe Tinker now. This will be the first time we'll see Tinker tonight. Manchester not getting through its order just yet, so it's Tinker, Johnson, and Burkett, as I said. Connor in at first, Cross in at third. Aaron Voice says, yep. Aaron Reed saying that he is the man of 1,000 voices and the voice that means a lot. Indeed you are. Corcoran comes home with the 0-2 delivery. Tinker swings. Chopper to short. Jennings over. And on to Connor to retire the speedy Joe Tinker for out number 1. Walter Johnson hitting 176. A home run, 6 runs batted in. Corcoran fires it in, the 0-1 to the big train. Fly ball to center. Donlin going back and making the catch, 2 down. So Johnson gave it a pretty decent ride, but just a very, very loud out. Back at the top of the order now, Hall of Fame left fielder Jesse Burkett. A Hall of Famer, another that, unless you're really a student of the game, you probably don't know about this guy. Popped to third, but Jesse Burkett hitting 305, 38 runs batted in. Corcoran lets it go. Burkett. Ooh, big called strike 3. And that ends the inning. We've played 3. We are scoreless. Roger Connor, Elmer Flick, and Lave Cross to face Walter Johnson here in the top of the 4th. The big train kind of taking it easy tonight. He's only struck out 1. To accompany that, 1 free pass. Johnson winds and fires. Full count on Connor. Misses with the payoff pitch. This one outside, and Roger Connor aboard. Connor has 25 steals. Elmer Flick now. Nothing for 1 in the contest. Struck out back in the 1st. Johnson with a check of the runner, Connor. The 1-1 pitch to Flick. Flick chopper to second. Will they get 2 here? Childs to Tinker. And the hard slide by Roger Connor will break up the double play. So Tinker aboard, or Flick aboard. Elmer Flick with 32 steals in the season. Third baseman Lave Cross now with 1 out. Cross gave it a ride to deep left center back in the 2nd. Johnson with a check of the runner. And there goes Elmer Flick, the throw down by Schock, and Elmer Flick has steal number 33. So a runner in scoring position for St. Louis. No score here. Schock sets the target for Walter Johnson. Johnson with a check of Flick at second. Deals the 1-0. Cross, fly ball, routine to right. Wilson has it. Flick will tag, and he will hold second. So 2 down for Jean de Montreville. Grounded to short in the 2nd. Schock sets up. Johnson brings it home. The 0-1 de Montreville swings. Base hit up the middle. Past Childs into center field. Stahl up with it. Flick rounding third, and he will score easily. St. Louis drawing first blood here in the top of the 4th. St. Louis 1, Manchester nothing. Jean de Montreville has 31 steals on the season. And here's Wilbert Robinson. Robinson nothing for 1. Fly to shallow center back in the 2nd. Christopher Slovic says, great to be here. Says, I like the games. You get so invested that you don't look at the chats. Love it. I'm sorry. I do, but don't. I get it. Gotcha. So welcome in, Christopher. Good to see you. Um, Christopher, brilliant voice, content creator um, in our little community. Subscribe to that channel if you haven't. Robinson 0 for 1. Johnson deals 2 down. And that one's going to go for a ball. Montreville trying to run. Pitch out, nothing doing. Here's the 1-0 from Johnson to Robinson. And this one, a swing and a miss. Pitch out again, nothing doing. De Montreville holding first. 1-1 now from Walter Johnson. There goes De Montreville. Schalk throws down. De Montreville has steal number 32. So to no avail do the efforts of Manchester pay off as G. De Montreville is camped on the Keystone sack. Robinson back in there now. The 2-1 delivery from Walter Johnson. And fastball chopped to short. Joe Tinker up with it. And over to Bruthers. Bruthers with the stretch. And Robinson is safe. De Montreville comes home to throw. The tag by Schalk. And De Montreville is safe. St. Louis getting aggressive here. Plating 2 here in the top of the 4th. 2-0. This is good stuff here. As MV is greeting Christopher Slovic, who I hope will get back to the Commonwealth soon. And so he and I can share at least 5 rounds of Guinness or whatever his weapon of choice is. Wilbert Robinson, in the baseball history collection, has 12 steals, none on this season. Deacon McGuire usually getting the start at catcher. Robinson, though, tonight. Johnson throws over. Robinson back easily. Not a big lead by Wilbert. Coors Light versus Guinness. Christopher Slovic's going to be now. Guinness. It takes me a million Guinnesses to even get tipsy. I just love the taste of it. Beer doesn't make me drunk for some weird reason. Johnson comes home with the 0-2 delivery to Corcoran, and called strike 3. So Walter Johnson picking up strikeout number 2, inning over. But St. Louis, 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left on. We go to the bottom of the 4th, 2-0. Aaron Reed says his family and I will be heading off to Pennsylvania a month from today. So Aaron Reed visiting the Commonwealth will be nearby where I am. They'll be visiting Gettysburg, the battlefield there. I hope the weather holds. We've had beautiful weather here all week in the Commonwealth. Hopefully the wheels don't fall off as you're coming up around St. Patrick's Day. And I think the Saturday before St. Patrick's Day, I plan to be obliterated that day, so just fair warning. All right. We've got an Uber lined up, a good friend of mine, Paul and I, and yep, it's going to be fun. But hope to maybe get a chance to meet up with the erstwhile Mr. Reed and his entourage. Cupid Childs to lead it off here. The number 2, 3, 4 hitters in Manchester due up here in the bottom of the 4th. Childs lined to short back in the 1st. Christopher Slovic says he'll be back on 4th June. Excellent. All right, Christopher, keep that in mind. Definitely like to meet up with you. I will make the trip to the west side of the Commonwealth where I used to live and work. Used to work on the south side of Pittsburgh as a magician and magic demonstrator on Carson Street. Corcoran deals with 2 strikeouts in this game, by the way. And De Montreville making a fine play at second. Ranging hard to his right to retire the runner. And here is Dan Bruthers now. Bruthers walked back in the 1st. So 2 strikeouts and a walk for Larry Corcoran as he lets it go. The 1-0 delivery to Bruthers. Bruthers fly ball to center. Turkey McDonald back on it. Bruthers gives it a ride, but not enough. So 2 away here. We've got a pretty nice breeze going out to left center at 16 miles per hour. Chief Wilson, nothing for 1. Struck out in the second against Corcoran. Robinson sets the target. Corcoran, full count, and Wilson on the 3-2 pitch. Little number to short, and Jennings making a fine play, having to come in quickly. The infield grass at Ebbets here a little bit tall. Side retired. We go to the 5th, 2-0 St. Louis. And we're back at the top of the order for the Wolves and Fred Clark, Huey Jennings, and Mike Donlin. Clark a perfect 2 for 2 today at the dish. Infield single in the 1st and a single in the 3rd. Walter Johnson fires it in. Clark swinging in the first pitch, fly ball to center. Chick Stahl sets a campfire up and makes a nice play. 1 down. Huey Jennings now. Jennings nothing for 1. Walter Johnson fires it in. Jennings pops this one high on the infield. Wallace and Tinker converging. Wallace calling off Tinker for the putout. 2 down. Turkey Mike Donlin nothing for 2, trying to extend his 8-game hitting streak. Stepping in here for St. Louis. Johnson winds and fires the 2-1. Donlin swings. Routine fly ball to left field. Jesse Burkett makes the catch to retire the side. To the bottom of the 5th we go. St. Louis maintaining its 2-0 lead over Manchester. Manchester will send up the number 5, 6, 7 hitters, and Chick Stahl, Bobby Wallace, and Ray Schock. Stahl in the game was safe in an error back in the 2nd. Larry Corcoran has struck out 2, walked 1 through 4 innings of work. Corcoran uncorks it. The 1-1 hard hit ball, but Corcoran, great play off the bump to his left. 1 down, so that brings up Bobby Wallace. Chick Stahl barely out of the box, and Corcoran just jumping all over that ball like Robbie Wartburg to a blonde. Bobby Wallace 1 for 1 in the game. Single to left center back in the 2nd, or a brunette, or a redhead, or whatever other hue of black hair also. So there you go, Robbie. A Robbie Wartburg reference. Corcoran delivers, and big cut and a miss by Bobby Wallace, and that is the 3rd strikeout for Larry Corcoran in the game. 2 away for Ray Cracker Schock. Schock grounded the pitcher into a double play, actually. So that was that 1-4-3 double play turn by St. Louis. Corcoran delivers. 1-1 pitch to Schock. Swung on, base hit to center. Donlin up with it. Schock will hold first as the ball gets from Donlin to Jennings at short. Runner aboard, 2 down for Manchester here in the bottom of the 5th. Robbie says less likely on a redhead. Robbie being picky. All right. Ray Schock has 14 steals, so he will pick his spots. Corcoran with a check of the runner facing Joe Tinker now, who grounded to short in the 3rd. Corcoran with the payoff pitch to Tinker. Tinker lays off and draws the walk. Larry Corcoran has issued his 2nd free pass. 2 aboard for Manchester and 2 down. Schock at 2nd, Tinker at 1st. Walter Johnson nothing for 1. Fly to center his last time up. Larry Corcoran peers in, has the sign from Wilbert Robertson. The wind and the 1-2 pitch to Walter Johnson. And Johnson. This one in at the knees for strike 3, and that is strikeout number 4 for Larry Corcoran. We go to the visitors' half of the 6th inning. It is still 2-0 St. Louis over Manchester. Yes, he is wrong, Cousin Ken, but I'm not going to get down that road. I'll let Robbie can be blissfully ignorant if he wishes. But he only says, but Robbie in his defense says only less likely. Oh my goodness. All right. You know what's going to happen, Robbie? I'm going to make a prediction for you here. The woman that is waiting for you and you're waiting for, you're going to meet her. She's going to be a gorgeous redhead. Oh man, she's going to have beautiful green eyes, and she's going to have a fiery temper like you've never believed, and you're going to love her, love her, love her. That is my prediction. Robbie's going to have him a beautiful, red-haired Irish lass. Yes, yes, yes. Roger Connor now to lead it off here, the number 4, 5, 6 hitters for the St. Louis Wolves. Connor has walked twice in the game, so he's seen Johnson very well. Johnson delivers the 0-2 pitch to Connor, and he's not seeing him so well this time. The big train punching out his third. Quantity over quality, exactly. At least when you're starting out, right? All right, 9:49. We're into second game here, halfway through our second game. We'll still be going off early, which means Robbie Wartburg could do a triple header. Schock sets up. Johnson delivers to Elmer Flick, who's 0 for 2. And Elmer Flick, this ball getting away from Walter Johnson. And here's Lave Cross. So Elmer Flick kind of rubbing his leg a little bit there. Lave Cross, nothing for 2. He's flied out twice. Johnson comes home with the 0-1 delivery. There it goes. Flick hit and run in motion. Johnson up with it over to Bruthers to retire Cross, and Flick will make it to second. So St. Louis now getting a little bit more aggressive on the hit and run. Flick in scoring position, 2 down for Gene DeMontreville, who is 1 for 2. RBI single back in the 4th, scoring Elmer Flick. Johnson winds and fires. DeMontreville in the first pitch. This one. So Johnson hits another batter. This is a fastball now. If this was really an accurate baseball sim and Walter Johnson hits you with a fastball, you'd be arriving at the plate for at least a few minutes. Anyhow, Flick at second, DeMontreville at first, and here's Wilbert Robinson, who is 1 for 2. So Johnson in a potential little pickle, we'll call it a gherkin at this point. Wilbert Robinson, infield single back in the 4th, scoring Gene DeMontreville for the second St. Louis run. Schock sets the target. Johnson with the 2-2 pitch. Robinson swings. This one grounded to second. Childs cannot hold on to the ball. And that will be an E4, and the bases are loaded. Walter Johnson, an easygoing guy here, but from this vantage point, it looks like a little bit of frustration. The big train, who should be out of this inning, but can't put all the blame on that error with Johnson plunking 2 batters. Bases loaded, but it's the St. Louis pitcher. So Corcoran has flied to right center and struck out. And there's PQ River saying, big train even, folks. All right. So welcome in. PQ River has been visiting our channel. Good to see him. Get another visit out of him, and he gets a wrench. That's how we roll on this little community. Allows you to post in baseball links to your channel, things like that. All right, Larry Corcoran. No place for Johnson to put Corcoran. 2-hit batsman in the inning. Also, an error at second by Cupid Childs, his 39th. Let's see what happens here. St. Louis holding a 2-0 lead. Johnson with the 1-0 delivery to Corcoran. Corcoran swings. Grounder to second. Childs sure-handedly gets this one to retire Corcoran. So St. Louis leaves them loaded, and we go to the bottom of the 6th. St. Louis holding on to a 2-0 lead. Larry Corcoran working on a 2-hitter right now. Each team with an error. The Wolves have stranded 7. Manchester 3. Each team with an error. Back at the top of the Red Bolts order, and Jesse Burkett, the left fielder, on a 7-game hitting streak. 0 for 2 in today's contest. He has popped to third and struck out. Robinson with the signs. Corcoran has one he likes. The 2-1 now to Jesse Burkett. Fastball. This one chopped to third. Lave cross. Long throw across the diamond. Connor making the catch. Number 1. Cupid Childs, who committed that error that didn't come back to bite Manchester, is 0 for 2 against Corcoran today. Is lined to short, grounded to second. Temperature creeping up here at Ebbets, now up to 85 degrees, getting a little balmy, but the breeze helping the Manchester faithful here. Corcoran comes home with it now, the 1-0. Childs swings on this curveball. Jennings has it. The throw to Connor. It's going to be close. Childs is safe on the infield single. So Manchester picks up hit number 3. Childs aboard for Dan Bruthers. Cupid Childs has pilfered 31 sacks in the season. Dan Bruthers, nothing for 1 in the contest. He's walked and fly to deep center. Bruthers does have 6 home runs, so it's not inconceivable that a swing of the bat ties this one up. Corcoran comes home with it now after a check of Childs. There goes Childs, and this one was a hit and run, and this one's going to get into the seats. Foul ball. As PQ River says to MV, hope all is spiffy. MV says not at the moment, his team's losing. 1-1 now. Runner goes, the throw down, and this one grounded to third, cross up with it, the hit and run again, and Bruthers is retired. Childs will get into scoring position. 2 down, runner at second, and here is Chief Wilson, the right fielder, is nothing for 2. He has struck out, grounded to short. Robinson with the target. Corcoran brings it. The 1-2 pitch. Wilson, a big swing and a miss. Inning over, no runs, 1 hit, no errors. A man left in scoring position. We've played 6 in Brooklyn, and it's the Wolves 2 and the Red Bolts nothing. St. Louis will send up Fred Clark, Huey Jennings, and Mike Donlin, the top of the St. Louis order. Clark, 2 singles in the day, flied out in the 5th. Walter Johnson has struck out 3, walked 2, and has hit 2 batters. Johnson comes home with it now to Clark. 0-1. Fred Clark fouls this one back. Left fielder back in. Johnson lets it go. And Clark draws the walk. So Walter Johnson, not as sharp as we saw him in the All-Star game, has walked 3 and struck out 3. Huey Jennings, nothing for 2 for the shortstop. The big train into his motion, throws over, and Clark ahead of Bruthers' tag in plenty of time. Johnson once again with the wind, and there goes Fred Clark, the throw from Schock, and Fred Clark picking up his 30th steal of the season. St. Louis bringing a running game here finally. Missing a couple opportunities back in the 1st and 2nd, but runner in scoring position here, 2-0 lead. Jennings back in the box. The 0-1 delivery from the big train. They're going to intentionally walk Huey Jennings, so the free pass. Walk number 4 for Johnson, and they're going to pitch to Mike Donlin. Donlin has grounded out, line to short, fly to deep center. Donlin on a 7-game hitting streak. Manchester looking double play here. The delivery to Donlin. Donlin swings on the first pitch, gets the bunt down. Schock's only play will be at first to Cupid Childs covering. 1 down, St. Louis in the proverbial catbird seat. Potential 3rd run just 90 feet away, and Fred Clark trailing him. Huey Jennings at 2nd. 2 in scoring position for Roger Connor, who is nothing for 1. He's walked twice and struck out. What is Virtual MV doing? What is Virtual MV doing? I don't know, because the real MV hasn't been doing a lot here. But maybe his strategy is to wait until the 8th inning? Who knows? The mind of the man of Wales is inscrutable. Inscrutable. Love that word. Walter Johnson from the stretch in the 0-1 delivery. And they're going to intentionally walk Roger Connor to get to Elmer Flick. So Interesting strategy here. Trying to induce a double play. Big risk here by Manchester. Elmer Flick, nothing for two. Was hit by a pitch back in the sixth. Bases loaded, one out. Johnson with the 2-2 to Elmer Flick. Flick swings. This one chopped to short. Tinker will only have one play to first, and Elmer Flick is safe. Elmer Flick picks up the RBI. It is now 3-0 St. Louis. Todd B says evening. So Todd, Cleveland losing to Bellingham 4-1 in our first game tonight. But good news for you, Manchester also losing right now 3-0, or behind 3-0. MV says you've got to be kidding me. Leif Cross with a 7-game hitting streak. Nothing for 3. Beautiful day here in Flatbush. Getting warmer though. It's 86 degrees and certainly getting a little hotter for Manchester. Jennings at third. Flick at first. Johnson from the stretch. Leif Cross, and there goes Flick, the throw down, and Elmer Flick has stolen his 34th base. So Elmer Flick having a hell of a good ball game today. 2 in scoring position. Leif Cross back in the box. The 0-1 delivery from Walter Johnson. Leif Cross, chopper past Johnson. Childs up with it and over to Bruthers to retire. Leif Cross and the side. But a run scores on no hits and no errors. 7th inning stretch time. 3-0 St. Louis over Manchester. Certainly wait for you. Got to get that hand up like that. You got to kind of anticipate, my friend. But I definitely will check on you. Make it a big and a bright, huh? All right, so Larry Corcoran right now working on a 3-hit shutout. The number 5, 6, 7 hitters, Chick Stahl. Bunt rating for Chick Stahl is an 8. MV asking for the bunt rating of Chick Stahl. Stahl nothing for 2 in the game. Larry Corcoran has struck out 5, walked 2. Chick Stahl has grounded out twice. Let's see what MV wants to do. All right, you got it. Calling for a bunt for a hit. Larry Corcoran into his wind in the 0-1 delivery to Chick Stahl. Stahl gets a good bunt down, but Robinson up with it and over to Demontreville. Just like Robbie Wartburg on a redheaded blonde type, which would be a strawberry blonde. So 1 up, 1 down for Bobby Wallace. We'll see what, we'll let MV play this batter by batter. I'll wait. You can just put and if that means just, or, you know, play forward, hit away, whatever. See what you want to do. Bobby Wallace is 1 for 2. All right, hit away. Bobby Wallace with a single back in the second and struck out in the 5th. Ray Schock waits on second. Corcoran deals to Bobby Wallace, the 1-2. Wallace fly ball to left field. Fred Clark going back on it toward the foul line in front of the mobile gas sign, which would not have existed in 1900 for out number 2. And in fact, Ebbets Field was not here until 1913. See the magic we can do in the Beatles Eternally channel. Ray Schock is 1 for 2. The hand goes up. Schock has grounded out, grounded into a double play in the second, and singled in the 5th. 2 away here. See what MV would like to do with Ray Schock. And looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter. It's going to be Ted Easterly to come in. So Schock is out. So 1 catcher for another. Numbers on Easterly, hitting .256 with 12 runs batted in. Easterly bats left. 2 away here in the bottom of the 7th. Can customize those AD the ad signs. With Photoshop you can. With Photoshop you can. But is there a mechanism within the game? No, because these are images. So actually doing ads and customizing would be easier with out of the park baseball. Um, Marginally easier, but I could bring this into GIMP or Photoshop and actually create all kinds of signage like Todd B rocks, Robbie Wartburg needs a woman, things like that. That would be fun to make some customized ads. All right, Easterly waits now. The 1-1 delivery. Easterly swings, fly ball to right, and flick back right in front of the Gem Razor sign. Makes the catch for out number 3, and we go to the 8th. St. Louis maintaining its 3-0 lead. Yeah, APA ads in Action PC, Todd. I like it. And I just had the idea for another ad, but I don't want to honk off any Stratters out there. So, Mr. MV, Easterly obviously going to stay in to catch because he's your only other catcher. Unless you have somebody else you would like to. So, Baseball Mogul, PQ River says he has Baseball Mogul, hasn't but never explored it much. It's a neat game. I think there's some fun things you can do with it. It's pretty cool. I know the Clay is really concentrating now on his Cars and Dice game, season ticket baseball. But yeah, geez, I don't think I've ever done. Have I ever done anything with Baseball Mogul on the channel? It's pretty cool. I should do something with it sometime. All right. DeMontreville is 1 for 2. RBI single back in the 4th. Walter Johnson with the delivery to DeMontreville. First pitch swinging, gets the bunt down. Easterly pouncing on it, but to no avail. The ball goes out to right field, but Wilson, strong arm. DeMontreville not going to run on that arm. So Easterly with a throwing error. That's his 5th on the season. DeMontreville at first. Gene DeMontreville has 32 steals. And Ken Castro greeting Todd B. Take a couple minutes after this game and just show a couple things in Baseball Mogul for those who've never messed with it. I buy it every year to support Clay, and I play it usually for a few days in April. It's a neat game. Easterly sets the target for Walter Johnson. The delivery to Wilbert Robinson, who was 1 for 3. Throw over. DeMontreville back. Walter Johnson once again brings it home. Robinson, fly ball to left. Burkett over, making the catch. DeMontreville will get back to first. 1 down, 1 on for pitcher Larry Corcoran. Don't know if Clinton's still here, but he can make substitutions and pinch hitters and such. And I see a hand going up. Pitch out. All right. Johnson checks DeMontreville at first. Larry Corcoran, nothing for 3. The big train wheels and deals. Corcoran, pitch out, nothing doing. DeMontreville not budging off of first. To see if MV wants to do this again. It's a 1-0 count. Will he go pickoff, pitch out? Pitch. We will wait. And the hand going up. And he's going to go pickoff this time. Johnson has the signs from Easterly. Throw over. DeMontreville safe. Count 1-0 on Larry Corcoran. See if MV has play ball, says MV. All right. Johnson once again into his wind in the 1-0 to Larry Corcoran. Runner does not go. Johnson comes off the hill to the right. Nice play. Throws on to Bruthers to take care of Corcoran. And DeMontreville in scoring position with 2 down. Back at the top of the St. Louis order, and Fred Clark. Fred Clark 2 for 3 in the game, and he walked back in the 7th. The big train sets and delivers the 0-1 to Clark. Clark, base hit up the middle, stall up with it. DeMontreville will come home and score. Fred Clark with the RBI, and it is 4-0 now, St. Louis. 2 down, Clark at first. The former Bucko left fielder has 30 steals on the season. Huey Jennings, nothing for 2. Jennings was intentionally walked in the 7th. And I see no signal from MV. Walter Johnson into his wind, and the 1-2 delivery to Jennings. And Jennings gets punched out. So Walter Johnson picking up his 4th strikeout. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's 4-0 St. Louis. Joe Tinker, Walter Johnson, and Jesse Burkett due up for the Manchester Red Bulls. St. Louis scored 2 in the 4th, 1 in the 7th, and 1 in the 8th. St. Louis missing some chances, not capitalizing. Holding a 4-0 lead, but they've stranded 10. Manchester has left 4. All right. Joe Tinker, nothing for 1. He is grounded out and walked. The delivery from Larry Corcoran, the 0-1, and Corcoran fielding his position nicely for the 1-3 putout of Joe Tinker, 1 down. Walter Johnson, nothing for 2. Does MV go for a pinch hitter for the big train or leave him in? We'll wait and see. Manchester feeling a little bit of, will be feeling a tiny bit of heat, but Cleveland feeling a lot of heat right now. And the glove going up for MV, manager of these Manchester Red Bulls, Jimmy Ryan. So MV going to his bench. The big train is done, and Jimmy Ryan will come in to pinch hit. So Jimmy Ryan's numbers, 167, 2 home runs, 23 runs batted in. Ryan finishing in with his practice swings in the box now. Corcoran winds and fires the 1-1, base hit into left field. Nice call by MV. Ryan routing first, he will hold. Ryan has 10 steals, projected for 30. So pretty good speed for Jimmy Ryan. And back at the top of the order now, left fielder Jesse Burkett. Jimmy Ryan, let's look at it. Todd B saying Jimmy Ryan looking like Moonlight Graham. Well, let's see. Let's get a picture here, Jimmy Ryan. There we go. Yeah, he does have that sort of the way. So Burt Lancaster, of course, playing the older Moonlight Graham in Field of Dreams. Yeah, I can kind of see that. Good call, Todd B. So there's Jimmy Ryan. All right, nice. Hit and run. All right, gotcha there, MV. Ken Castro pulling off a run and hit last night. That was fun. Burkett, nothing for 3. Corcoran checks Ryan at first. Here's the 1-0 delivery to Burkett. Ryan off to the races. A throw down by Robinson. Jimmy Ryan dead to rights. 2 down, bases empty. So this time Burkett couldn't get anything to swing at. St. Louis might have been looking for the hit and run. 2 away. 1-1 on Jesse Burkett. Here's the wind by Corcoran. Burkett sends this one to left field. Fred Clark draws a beat on it and brings it down. That ends the 8th inning. 4-0 St. Louis. We go to the 9th. And St. Louis will send up Turkey Mike Donlin, Roger Connor, and Elmer Flick. MV saying play ball. You need a pitcher, MV. So if you can see, those will be coming up. You have Jack Feaster, Jake Weimer, Pete Alexander, and Irv Higginbotham. Waiting for MV to make a decision here. Irv Higginbotham. Sounds like MV says Higginbotham regrettably. So Irv will come in. He does. He sounds like he should be a butler. Jimmy Ryan will take a seat. There's Irv. You know, it's kind of funny. I didn't know what he looked like, but if you look at him, and if you've ever seen Downton Abbey, he does kind of look like a young Carson. So I forget the name of the actor in Downton Abbey who plays the butler for the Crawleys, but he kind of looks like him a little bit. Maybe Irv was a butler after all. Who knows? All right, Mike Donlin, nothing for 3 here. He will lead it off in the 9th for St. Louis. Todd B says, damn, Clinton's team finally playing up to potential. St. Louis playing an excellent game today. Easterly sets the target for Irv Higginbotham. The 1-1 delivery to Donlin. Donlin, chopper to second. Cupid Childs takes it on the room service. Bounce over to Dan Bruthers for the 4-3 putout. 1 away for Roger Connor. Roger Connor, 19th century slugger. He has walked twice, struck out, and then was intentionally walked. So he's been on the bases 3 times today. Higginbotham wheels and deals a 2-1 to Connor. Connor, little chip shot to short. Tinker up with it. It's going to be close. Connor tearing down the line, and they do get him. Dan Bruthers making the long stretch to get that throw. And here's Elmer Flick, 0 for 3. Flick has stolen 2 bases today. Higginbotham deals to Elmer Flick, the 0-2. Flick sends this one to short. Tinker. This one dropped by Tinker. And Elmer Flick is safe. And 34 steals, 2 in this game. Lave Cross, nothing for 4. MV saying damn. It's up to Cross to keep it going here in the top of the 9th. Or to add for St. Louis to the top of the 9th, a 4-0 lead, I should say. Pickoff. All right. Higginbotham checks the speedy Flick at first. Peers in, has the sign from Easterly. Here is the throw over to first. And Flick is back. And MV calling another play. Pitch out. All right. Higginbotham once again peers in. He's shaking off Easterly. Now he has one he likes. Here's the wind and the delivery. And Flick started to go. Nothing going. Easterly was up ready to gun. Flick back to first. Count 1-0 on third baseman Lave Cross. MV very actively managing now here in the 9th, trying to prevent St. Louis from scoring another run. Manchester down 4-0 here in the top of the 9th. St. Louis looking for its 56th win and a chance to spoil things up a little bit for Manchester. However, with Cleveland's loss, Manchester drops this one. The 2 teams will keep pace, but this will end the Red Bolts' 8-game winning streak. Play ball, says manager MV. Flick, a good lead off of first. 2 down. Higginbotham lets it go. The 1-0. And Lave Cross with a grounder to Bobby Wallace III. Wallace across the diamond to Bruthers to end the inning. And we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. It's 4-0 St. Louis. Todd B says, I found if you try pickoff a couple of times in a row, runner seems to get caught napping more easily. Maybe just a perception. Well, home managers keep that in mind. So, 3 chances to tie this game. You want to try to win it at home. Well, actually, you want to at least try to tie it at home. Get the win on the road, the tie at home. Childs 1 for 3 in the game. He'll be followed by Dan Bruthers and Chief Wilson, the number 2, 3, 4 hitters. Singled back in the 6th. Corcoran working on a 4-hitter. Deals the 0-1. Childs swings, and this one all the way to the wall and right for extra bases. Childs rounding first will make second easily, I think. The slide, man, not so easily, but he does make it. Cupid Childs ahead of this quick tag by Jennings. Strong throw by Elmer Flick, and that arm rated an 8. Elmer Flick was known as a great outfielder in his day. So here we go, a runner in scoring position for Manchester, and a glove going up from MV. For those of you not aware, in our league, if you're the manager of the home team, you get to call all kinds of plays, and including all your substitutions. If you're the visiting team, you can only do relief pitchers, pinch runners, pinch hitters. And the guys throw up the emoji that catches my attention, and I wait to see what managerial decision they'd like to make. In the words of Charlie Dressen, hang in there, boys. I'll think of something. We're fine. Take your time. We'll take a couple minutes after this in our recap to just show Baseball Mogul, since it was mentioned. I know our Red Sox fan has done a few things with Baseball Mogul sporadically over the years. Bunt rating, please, for Dan Bruthers. He is rated a 7 bunter and a 7 hit and run. Puku Ribber calling for the rally here for Manchester in the bottom of the 9th, down 4. Hit away. All right. Runner in scoring position, nobody out. A chance for Manchester to perhaps cut into this lead. Larry Corcoran with a 5-hitter. Payoff pitch to Dan Bruthers. Bruthers lays off and draws the walk, so 2 aboard. And that will bring up Chief Wilson, who is nothing for 3. Wilson has struck out twice and grounded to short. Corcoran and the St. Louis Wolves looking double play, as once again MV of the Manchester Red Bolts wanting to possibly make something happen here. I should write to Dave Cook, and I finally heard, this is the first time ever with this edition that I've actually heard the sample loop of the crowd in Action PC Baseball. I don't know if they changed something up, but finally heard the sample loop, and there's a big gap of silence. Should ask Dave, do you need help setting the sample loop point? MV says, this is the game right here. He's my RBI guy, but rating, please. Not sure which rating you're wanting. As a bunter, he's a 6. Hit and run, he's a 6. As far as speed on the base paths, to help you out a little, MV, you got pretty good speed at Childs, and both of them pretty good speed. See what you want to do. You want to bunt? Are we sack bunt? Are we gonna sack bunt here, MV, or do you want to try to bunt for a hit? Let's wait and see what you want to do. Just play ball straight up. Okay. I just wanted to know which kind of bunt you wanted to go for, though, here. Sacrifice or try to bunt for a hit. Play ball, no bunt. Okay. All right, going back to computer play call. 2-1, nobody out. Corcoran will try to induce the double play. Here's the pitch to Wilson, the 1-1. And won't be a double play. Pop up on the infield. Flick coming in. Connor at the line makes the catch. 1 away for Chick Stahl. Center fielder has grounded out twice and bunted to the catcher. 4-0 St. Louis lead. MV trying everything he can here. Corcoran winds and fires the 1-1 pitch to Chick Stahl. And this one gets past Wilbert Robinson. This one in the dirt. And this one will be scored a wild pitch. Do the winds of change, the winds of fortune shifted now? Two in scoring position for Manchester. First base open. Bobby Wallace waits on deck. And hit away for Chicky, says MV. Corcoran with the 2-1 delivery to Stahl. Stahl swings, fly ball to center. This one high, this one deep. This one is out of here. Or no, this one's off the wall. It's off the wall. Looked like it was out of here, but Chick Stahl with a 2 RBI triple. And just like that, with one out, Manchester has cut the St. Louis lead in half. It is now 4-2, bottom of the ninth, one out, and Chick Stahl just 90 feet away, the potential third run. Ken Castro says, unreal, nice. And MV says, that's my boy. So Chick Stahl comes through. I thought this one was gone, but it went off the wall. All right, Bobby Wallace, 1 for 3. This game just got really interesting really quickly. Wallace has singled, struck out, and flied out. Todd B says fix. Now, not seeing Hal Chase on the field here, but anything is possible. MV going up with the hand of fate, if you will. Manos, the hands of feet Manos, the hands of fate. Todd B will know that. Score, please. Score. I'm lost. The score's 4-2. From Casey at the bat. The score is 4-2 with but 1 inning left to play. And when Cooney dined at first and Barrows did the same, a sickly silence fell upon the patrons of the game. Oh, the bunt rating. Okay, because you said score. Okay, the score is St. Louis 4, Red Bulls 2. Bunt rating on Bobby Wallace is a 5. Yeah, I thought it was going to be a 4-3, but it still could be. So, as Ernie Harwell would say, these fans have just inched forward in their seats. Hit away, says MV. Larry Corcoran working from the stretch. Corcoran had a shutout going, a 5-hitter going to the bottom of the ninth. Corcoran from the stretch in the 0-2 to Bobby Wallace. Wallace, base hit up the middle, RBI for Wallace. Chick Stahl will come in to score as Donlin gets to the ball. Here comes Manchester. It is 4-3, and here is catcher Ted Easterly. Bobby Wallace, 5 steals. And just in case MV asks, Easterly has a bunt rating of 5 and a hit and run of 7. Infield guarding the lines. Outfield playing deep to guard against the extra base hits. Runner on first. And no catchers left, I believe. Let's see if there's anybody. Let's check this roster quickly for Manchester and see who else is rated as a catcher. Catchers are used up. There are no other catchers on this team, so you can't really. Well, you can take a chance and pitch hit for Easterly, but if you tie it, you're going to go in there without a catcher. Hit away, says MV. Corcoran with a check of Wallace on first. 3 runs here in the bottom of the ninth for Manchester. Corcoran brings it home, throws over. Wallace back ahead of the Connor tag. Ted Easterly has 1 game-winning run batted in the season. Corcoran comes home with it. The 2-1 delivery to Easterly. There goes Wallace, the throw down by Robinson. And Bobby Wallace has his 6th steal of the season. And the tying run is now in scoring position for the Manchester Red Bulls. And we're going to pitch mode. We're going to pitch mode. Easterly in the box. Corcoran with the rosin bag, tosses it aside. Peers in has the sign from Wilbert Robinson. Here is, oh, we don't want to do that on a 3-1 count. We'll stay at bat mode. The 3-1 to Easterly. Easterly draws the walk. Now the winning run is at first base, and we will go to pitch mode for this. And the glove goes up, so we're in pitch mode now, MV. So each thing is situational. Glove going up. I'm watching. When I see the glove, MV, I stop and look at the screen. So you don't have to keep doing the emoji. Just to help you out there, mate. 7 watching now and got 3 likes. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Oh, you can't see who's at the plate. Joe Tinker, who is 0 for 2. And since you're asking, or will ask, he has a bunt rating of 6. Tinker in the game has grounded out twice and walked. And we're doing pitch by pitch mode now. Tying run at second, the winning run at first for Manchester. This could be a huge, huge comeback. And V says play. Just be ready with that emoji if you need it, because we're doing pitch by pitch. Robinson sets the sign. Corcoran with the pitch. And Joe Tinker swinging on the first pitch. Grounder to Jennings. Jennings to Demontreville to Connor. And this game ends in a double play after all of that drama. St. Louis staves off a 9th inning 3-run rally by Manchester. Manchester falls to St. Louis 4-3. So let's look at St. Louis, who improves to 56 and 82. 4 runs, 5 hits, 1 error. Manchester falls to 78 wins, 60 losses. 3 runs, 7 hits, 3 errors. Larry Corcoran gets the win. He goes to 15 and 19. Walter Johnson with the loss goes to 17 and 10. For St. Louis, Fred Clark went 3 for 4 with a steal. For Manchester, Chick Stahl 1 for 4, 2 runs batted in. Cupid Childs 2 for 4 and a double. Let's have a quick look at our pitching, and then we'll be able to look at our standings as well. So Larry Corcoran, who had a shutout going into the bottom of the 9th, went 9 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, all earned, walked 4, struck out 5. ERA now at 3.08. Walter Johnson gets the loss. 8 innings of work from the big train, 4 runs. 3 of those runs earned. He walked 5, struck out 4, hit 2 batters, by the way, we should mention. Herb Higginbotham worked an inning in relief, and that's what he did. He just worked an inning in relief. Let's go to our miscellaneous very quickly, and let us see. Game-winning RBIs, Gene Demontreville, and the game is awarding Fred Clark MVP. Not something that's uncommon for the game actually doing this. I'm so used to Manchester winning. So Manchester's 8-game winning streak snapped by last place St. Louis. And we'll let everything update and we'll see where we are. So Cleveland and Manchester both losing tonight. So they should stay within a margin of one another. So here are the standings at the end of the day. 8 September 1900. Manchester at 78 and 60. 6 games in front of Cleveland. Cleveland 7 games from elimination, but again, where Cleveland is feeling the heat, Philadelphia and Butler right behind them at 7 games back. Philadelphia and Butler at 71 and 67. Providence and Bellingham, 2 games above 500, 8 games out, so still in the race for these 2 teams. 5 games from elimination for them. Liverpool at 509 games back, 4 games from elimination. Carolina 3 games from elimination, 10 games out. Arsenal and St. Louis and knocked out. So there's where we are at the end of play on this day. Great game, says MV. Thank you. What are the tiebreaker rules? For what? Oh, so we'll have a 1 game playoff. If it would happen that, let's just say Philadelphia ties you, it would be a 1 game playoff. And then the winner of that will meet. Because mathematically, um, I don't know. Unless either Cleveland, Philadelphia, and Butler, they could go on a tear. And but it really looks like Manchester is going to be hosting our 3 game World Series. Upcoming, we have Philadelphia at Cleveland, Bellingham at St. Louis, Arsenal at Liverpool, Manchester at Carolina, and Butler at Providence. So Philadelphia, Cleveland, the next time we play. So somebody say 3 ways, says Ken Castro. MV, being the sportsman he is, says, I think you got second locked up, Todd. The next game, when we get together again, gents, and if we get together tomorrow night, it will be 1 game only, and it will be Cleveland at Philadelphia. Again, Philadelphia 7 out, Cleveland 6 out. So this is going to be a huge one. If there's no baseball tomorrow, we will reconvene on Sunday. Sunday, unless I decide to stay in Saturday, but I highly doubt it. So this was fun. Let's have a quick look at Baseball Mogul, and we'll call it a wrap. Da, da, da. I haven't seen Baseball Mogul in so long. All right, so there's things you can do in Baseball Mogul. Let's start a new game so you can see some of the things that you can do. So you can replay out of the box the 2022 season. This game comes with every Major League season from 1901 to 2021. So that's your classic. Fictional is what it says in the tin. It's all fictional players. So unlike Out of the Park Baseball and Action PC, well, I should say actually, let's compare this more with Out of the Park Baseball, where you can have fictional teams and real players, right? You can do the same in Action PC, but this only, unlike Out of the Park, this is strictly fictional. So you can't use fictional cities and real players. You can take an expansion team and build into a dynasty. This one, this custom, this load a database, run a fantasy draft. Probably, maybe the thing that people are gonna mess with most. You can do you can load a database. So this would be starting a new game using a save game file, and then you can do a draft from it if you want. You can create a new league in any year you choose and use the league editor to customize it. Your league builder, this is actually, I thought this was a cool feature till I realized you can't really build a league, because it says here, right, build a league by selecting teams from history. For example, 1927 Yankees, 55 Dodgers, 86 Mets. These teams are already preset. So you can't, again, unlike Action PC and unlike Out of the Park Baseball, you cannot decide here what teams you can put in. There's the way you want to do that up here is this. Right here. Or no, the League Builder you can. It's the all-time All-Stars. I'm sorry. Let me correct myself. The League Builder, you can bring in teams, any teams that you want from 1901 to present, right? It's the all-time All-Stars. Now, here's where it's a little bit misleading. It says create a database containing the all-time best players from each of the 30 modern franchises. You're not creating anything on here. This is something that's pre-made, preset. But what you could do with this, load this in, and then save it, and then load it as a database up here, and do a draft league. So there's a way around it. It's a little bit weird. It's a little bit clunky. So we'll look at the league builder and what you can do with it. It's pretty simple to use. Pardon me. Um, Now, I'm talking about I'll talk about some of the cool features of the game because it does have some neat features. Gives you this nice little ticker down here, which I like. And during games, you'll actually see this. So this will sort of look familiar to out of the park players. However, when you're selecting teams for an out of the park all times right teams league, you can see their one loss record here. You have to have baseball reference to do that. But any team from 1901 to 2021, so you pick the year. We know the Orioles were awesome in 1966. We also know they were pretty good in 1983, so we'll take the Orioles and we'll just add team. There we go. And that's how we do it. You just keep doing it a team at a time. It's pretty cool. Let's add. I'm not going to do a whole thing here, but let's do what 1965. I don't know. Me playing with all these American League teams. There's the Twins. We'll add them. Now the other thing I believe no, you can't do it because I don't know what the add all teams is for here. Now it does give you that record down here, so you can do it that way. I like the way Out of the Park Baseball does it better because you have to do an extra click, like if you didn't know how the 1865 Red Sox were. In fact, speaking of them, let's do the Red Sox in 1967. Add them in. We'll just make a quick 8-team league here so I can show you guys what it does. What is nice about the game is it will load the logos, and they seem to be, for the most part, from what I can remember, era correct logos, which are nice if you're replaying a season. Uh, and within game you download the players from an external server, which is really nice because these use the baseball reference ID. Now I don't know for Diamond Mine players, and I haven't checked this. I'm a Diamond Mine player, whether or not these pictures will work in Diamond Mine Baseball, but Diamond Mine Baseball has a way in game to bring in players too. All right, let's pick another team. Who do we like here? Let's take, and I know I'm doing sort of modern stuff, but that's fine. Now let's bring in the 1968 Tigers. I know, all tough teams, but this is just boom. We can even make a 4-team league if we wanted, but we'll go to 8. MV says this is cool. It's a decent game. Ken Castro says he's a big fan of the quickie, but not a fan of quick play. So, do you think Clay is giving any thought to moving his season ticket game to a PC version? Um, I don't know, Todd, but I would say this. I would say that I wish he would, only because this game pretty much has remained unchanged forever. Now, Clay may think if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So it'll be interesting. This game pretty much you'll see incremental updates. A lot of players, if you guys will remember, um, this and what the hell's the name of the game here? Pure Sim and Sports Mogul were early competitors of Out of the Park Baseball. Pure Sim was Sean Sullivan released it finally free to the gaming public. I do know that Sean Sullivan is still around. There are rumors he is finally working on a new baseball game. I hope that's true. He left a comment on one of my videos, so he is around. Um, and then Sports Mogul's been going along, and of course, Out of the Park has, getting the whole the Major League Baseball um, endorsement. What's interesting here, and not that I'm going to blow the whistle, but this is the ability to use these logos is something that Out of the Park Baseball is the only one to legally allowed to include in its game, other than MLB The Show, I believe, which is the other game with an MLB endorsement. I don't think RBI Baseball has it. So don't know how Clay is getting away with this, but it's all good. Um, and Out of the Park Baseball probably doesn't care. All right, let's pick another team. I guess we have to put in the Spankies somewhere, as Robbie calls them. and it will actually play out not an entire game, but let's see, how did these? I forget. Oh, 1978. Where'd you go, Yankees? Where'd you go? There you go, Egypts. There we go. All right. So we got Orioles, Twins, Red Sox, Tigers, Yankees. I need a good White Sox team. Was it 20? Was it 2005 that they won the World Series? Apologies to Forever Remain 90 if he's watching this later. Yep, there we go. I was right. Just in case I got it wrong. Um, who else? Orioles, Twins, Red Sox, Tigers. Oh, we need an Indians team. We're not going to do 1948 though. We're going to do. There you go, guys. We're going to do 1995. That was a great, great team. And what do we have here? One more. Let's do the 2001 Seattle Mariners. Just because I like those guys. All right. So we've got everything there. And we're going to click Done. League Builder must have an even number of teams. Oh, I forgot to add the Mariners. There you go. Egypt. All right. Done. Boom. Okay. So now it's loading and everything. And we'll wait for it. I've heard season tickets fun. MV says he used to play with this some time ago, but his desire is waned, but you have perked me up here. Well, we'll see. Again, I haven't played this in a long, long, long time. But I've never had any trouble with it. All right. So would I like to disable trades between computer-controlled teams? Yes, I would. So I'm going to do that. Now, again, looking a lot like out of the park baseball, you choose at the beginning here um, who you want to manage. Of course, we have advanced options here as well. We can, for these things, if you want to equalize city, shuffle all teams, whatever. What I would do is if you want to keep playing with this league, go to historical rookies. And But this equalize, that's if you want to mess with the financials. I never do. After 2011, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to play this. So in the drop-down menu, you can pick any one of these teams. Let's say we want to go to the Red Sox. There they are. And then we play, and we start on March 1st. Put in your name, your difficulty level, mogul manager, fan coach. Um, I don't know because if there's a way to turn off financials in this, which is why I usually don't play mogul because I don't give a damn about beer prices because I'll drink it anyhow. You get kind of their best players here, stuff like that. So we'll go ahead and play. And I didn't put my name in. I'm not going to. So here you go. Get these nice little blurbs here. So we got Yastrzemski, Boston, despite winning it all in 2021, which, well, yeah, right, the Red Sox, blah, 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 blah. We are the world champion 1967 Boston Red Sox. They should lead the team in tackling. Let's do what we do. Which, of course, none of this is true. None of this is true, but it's all cool. What can you do? So you can click on the calendar. We have nothing going on yet. Um, we can go to a depth chart, and we can look at the depth chart for each team, which is really nice, like that. Click on anybody. There's Tony C, and it will tell you whether his disposition, whether so he does not want to be traded. You can look at look at previous years, so 66, 65, 64. Again, a lot like out of the park baseball as it was at that time. You can change his fielding position. You can see where he's rated to play. So mainly right field, but you could also put him in left and center in a pitch. You probably don't want Tony C catching or playing the middle infield. Average, I guess, at first and third. So kind of nice. The little smiley face says he's happy. He is happy. He loves it in Boston. Doesn't want to leave, right? Um, and this copies the current display stats to the clipboard. And you can do this for some database work. And I'm not going to mess with that. Okay. Stats copy to clipboard anyhow. Big deal. Okay. So we're done looking at, we can look at strategies. So once again, like a good thing, like an Action PC, Out of the Park, Diamond Mine Baseball, you can set tendencies for each player in the league and how they're going to be managed. So that's cool. So it's deceptively deep. It's pretty cool. Anyhow, we're going to leave everything at default. Okay, and we'll click done. We can see top prospects. We see Ken Bratt, Reggie Smith, expiring contracts down here, and everything is clickable. So just like Out of the Park Baseball, you can click on everything. Action PC. Some things double click, some things you single click. You can also check any team. Go up here, and let's say, for instance, you want to look at the 1968 Tigers. There they are. Same thing. There's depth charts. We're not worrying about transactions. We can look at leaders, calendar, standings, the whole thing. Okay. So we're going to go to the calendar, and we are going to play. And we're going to basically advance. Go to April, select this game, simulate until April 1st, then play this play. Let's just do this. Actually, let's go no, and let's select that. Okay, yep. And then we go to yes. And here we go. Now we're in the game, and it's already playing it. And I'll show you how to get out of that. But this is actually a game that we're not doing. But this is what the game looks like. And I'm going to go ahead and click finish. Okay. So White Sox defeat the Tigers 13-12. You can right-click for a game recap, and that, what it does, automatically, quickly generates a web page for you, and I'll show you that you can actually, quote-unquote, manage. So you can see here, much like the game recap that you see in Action PC Baseball, or there's an option also. Actually, Out of the Park Baseball now has eclipsed it. You actually can watch replays from a game if you save it. But you can see the count and what happens. So here we see, you know, Willie Harris doubled. Everett struck out. Willie Harris will throw it on and on and on and on. Instantly creates a web page for you, which is really cool. So if you were playing this, and by the way, Action PC does create a web page as well, and you wanted to post this to Facebook or whatever, hey, this was great, check this out, here's what happened. Pretty cool. Also, this is kind of nice. So just using basic HTML tagging, all of these numbers up here will actually jump down to the page. So you're doing like an internal link. So we see here that the White Sox scored 8 runs in the bottom of the 7th. We can either scroll down or just click that 8, and it'll just right there, and you get it all. So that's pretty cool. Go ahead and close that. All right, so let's go back now to our team, the Boston Red Sox, and we're going to actually play part of this game against the Yankees. And we'll play it in play-by-play mode. Gives you your lineups. You can switch anybody up around that you want. So Jim Lonborg starting. And again, you can look at the stats for last season, their career stats. So if we look at last season stats for the 1970 or 67 Red Sox, you do this again with any team when you're playing. You can look at career stats, gives you career. So we see Norm Syburn, for instance, or Seaburn, however you say his name, 132 home runs in his career thus far. There's Elston Howard at 159. Okay, but we're going to go to this season. Click done. So what do we have up here? These are the players. You don't have to worry about remembering who's there. You get a nice little Fenway Park. And nice little touchdown here that I do like. That I'd like to see him develop. If he was to continue with this, with any ballpark, right? So you have the photo up here, which is real nice. But look down here, you have like this little sort of pastelish kind of sort of little art style that's showing dead straight away to Fenway. I'd like to see that for every ballpark. Again, pictures easily downloadable. Um, you want to go to your bench, or you want to switch a pitcher. I can do it right there. You can call double switch. Has nice help menus through it. So there's Willie Randolph. All right. You could play this game as a manager, strictly as a general manager, and that would be just watching teams. Or you could play, and then it becomes a semi-arcade game. I know Al sometimes does that. I'm not a fan of it. I just leave it as manager. Box score, of course, just again a click away. And the box score also instantly creates a web page, as you can see. And again, even from this web page, if I click on Craig Nettles, which says I can't because it's looking for it in a different place, but depending upon how you install the game, you can look at these players, but it's kind of silly. All right, so we're just going to pitch. It's a one-pitch mode, and here we go. So Jim Lonborg ready to deal to Willie Randolph. Here is the wind in the pitch. Randolph swings. This will be a fly ball to center field, and getting it is right, and it just popped second. This is what you get. There's no replay, so you don't have to necessarily remember because you're just getting this. This is not something that I would say is easy to call unless you know everybody out there, but you don't have to really remember. So Lonborg now to White. Nice animation, I'll give it that. And this one, it's not going to show the throw to first. So we just know that Roy Wright grounded to third. Thurman Munson up, 2 down. Here's the pitch. And Munson drew the walk. The only way to change the pitch mode is if you play as player. So you go to player. For the pitcher, I can select what I want to pitch as the batter, where I'm going to swing. So let's just have Lonborg. This is probably dangerous. We're going to throw a fastball to Reggie Jackson. I can choose a location. So it's kind of cool if you want to have a little bit of fun with it. Let's get him like sort of up and outside a little bit. And that's where it'll be. And it's going to go pitch by pitch. So maybe we could go sinker. Let's bring this one a little inside. 2-0. Or no, count 1-1. So that's sinker. Let's come back with a slider. Maybe a slider down. 1-2, and see, and Thurman Munson stole. So it's kind of cool. So as a player, it's still all click controls. Yeah, it's not an arcade game, Robbie. It's not like Super Mega Baseball or MLB The Show. So let's try. Let's see. It's 1-2. Let's see if we can get Reggie Jackson to chase one outside. And swung on a not so good pitch, and he flied out. Now, here's what you can do here. Now, as a hitter, you can guess. If you pick don't guess, he's just going to pitch, or you can take a pitch. If you get this right, so you get some baseball strategy here, right? So if you think the Catfish Hunter is going to come with a slider, select that. Is he going to go slider here? I don't know. So we see here his best pitch is fastball. I'm going to guess fastball, and I'm going to say he's going to try to come inside on me, and he'll pitch. Foul, and Joe Foy fouls it back. Other nice thing you can do with this is you can switch back to manager and just bat, and it will just do that. Pitch location shown up here, which is really, really nice. So we see here that finally pitch number 8, I believe it is, was actually put in play. And it was a single by Joe Foy. And so at this point, you're probably wondering, okay, I want Joe Foy to steal. Well, all you have to do is go down here. You give him the green light, right? Swing away, sacrifice bunt, bunt for hit. Steal second, delayed second, hit and run, and run and hit. The trick with this is just look at the menus. But it's not a bad game. It's really not a bad game. Um, I say give it a try. Yeah, rewrite history, pitch by pitch. So for those of you who are curious, this is Baseball Mogul. This is the most recent edition. And again, it's a game I buy every year. I don't play it a lot, but I do buy it. I like it. I think it has some nice touches. Clay, of course, one of the developers of the game I've shown a couple times on our channel, Old Time Baseball. So hopefully this piques some interest for some of you. If I click here on Catfish Hunter, again, I can get, and again, this 2022, this is because I didn't change the year or anything, it's just 2022. But we can see here, right, it's kind of like having a little baseball encyclopedia. I think this uses the Sean Lyman database. Nice, you get nice ratings for each player. You can go, all these tabs is batting. You've got splits in here, including career splits, which is nice. And then the previous season, since 2021 is actually previous season, you get projections, which is really, really nice. Let me see what else. Game logs, once they get finished, right? Transactions throughout his career. Vital statistics. So here we saw his Major League debut for Catfish Hunter, 1985. He was in 8 All-Star games. Who's he friends with? Whatever. His skills, well, he can crochet. No. So you can see his numbers, pitching versus lefties, righties, as far as these ratings go. Speed, steal frequency, steal success, aggressiveness, decision making, first to third, lateral movement, defense coming in, going back, glove work, arm strength, throwing accuracy. So this gets pretty deep. And then finally, you get some charts. And this is tracking for the season. You can also, you can't really get, but you can edit players in this. You can do trade talks if you want. So it's a pretty cool game. It's a pretty cool game. Yeah, Todd beat Steve Tate did he did a video actually explaining a bit about action PCs. It's not just devoted to the encyclopedia, but maybe he can be cajoled, coerced into using the encyclopedia. It's pretty cool actually. This game, of course, and Out of the Park have their encyclopedias already set, but you can set a ton of different encyclopedias in action PC baseball. So that's it. We're going to go ahead and finish this game. And Yankees Red Sox. So again, if we can left click for the box score, it's going to create a web page. It's just temporary. I mean, it's just on your hard drive, but you could publish it if you want. And then right click. So we right click and we get a game recap, and we left click, and we can look at our box score. So that's it. Pretty fun stuff. I like it. I like it a lot. Now, when you do this, right, it will pick up where the player is. So if I want to click on Joe Foy for whatever reason, I can. And there's all the numbers for Joe Foy. Going back to when Joe Foy played Class D ball in 1962. And what he did all the way up. So pretty nice. And you get his birth date, all that stuff. So there's really a lot going on in this game. So maybe it's piqued some people's interest. PQ River says Petrocelli a home run. So there you go, guys. Tracks everything going down on here on the little ticker. Gives you the important dates coming up. all that stuff, standings, and you can look at any team, do anything you want. You don't have to play these in order either. And here's what's nice, gives you projected starters, and we can go to this game, simulate it if we want. We can do that pretty much anywhere. We can look at the Mariners, and we see the Mariners off to a start. They're 2-0. They've taken two from the Twins. Yeah, fall from All-Star Baseball in the spinner, isn't it? PQ? It is. So Al, I've never done a complete season in this. I don't know how long it would take to play and this isn't a season. I have to bring in a season. Al's played it, and he feels it's not good for season replays. He thinks it's more for fun things like this. I don't know, as I've never tried to do a season replay because I'm not really into them as much as I used to be. So that would be something that if you want to check out. As far as how much does this guy cost? Let's see. It's not that expensive. It really it's let me see. What does Baseball Mogul go for? And he has sales throughout the year. So but not right now. So right now it's still $40. And to be really honest with you, I wouldn't buy this. Not for $40. Because you're not you're paying the same price as out of the park baseball. And funny enough to say, you're getting fewer seasons now. Again, most people aren't interested in the 19th century. Ken Castro, Clinton Parks, and I would be the three probably that are like we're really interested in 19th century baseball. But you're also not getting a lot more of the flexibility that you have with out of the park, plus the brilliant animations, the ballparks. If you do get it, I would say pick it up at the beginning of the season. Clay usually offers a little sale on it. It usually goes on for sale throughout the year. Sometimes right before the new baseball season. So like this one will probably go on sale in about 5 or 6 weeks, probably. But Clay's a good guy. You can get a lot of older versions of this for free. But $40 versus out of the park baseball. And out of the park right now, I don't think is on sale either. It will go on sale probably one more time if it's not now. Let's look at my library and go home and scroll to top. And yes, I just bought Hellcard, but not doing it on this channel. But it's really cool, by the way. So let's look at Out of the Park. Not going to play anything. I just want to see what it's going for right now. Come on. There we go. We'll go to the store page and see if it's on sale. I have 39.9 hours this year on it. Action PC has stolen a lot of love this year. How much is this bad boy going for? Um, yeah, so this is $20 right now. So if you were going to choose between this and Baseball Mogul, it's a no-brainer. And the reason it's getting mixed reviews is because there's a lot of idiots out there that are confusing Perfect Team with Out of the Park Baseball, the main baseball sim. So I would say buy Out of the Park Baseball if you had to choose between this and that. Yep, you can always get the previous year cheaper. And Out of the Park Baseball will probably stay on sale now until the baseball season for $20, and you get almost everything. I mean, all the Negro Leagues, all the minor leagues, everything. I think Out of the Park is still the better buy, but this isn't bad. This isn't bad, and I think for creating, mixing teams from eras and having fun, we couldn't have done the Ned McGreevy League and something like this. That would actually be impossible. And Out of the Park, it would be very difficult, but you could do it. But this would be super hard. Well, in fact, and there's no 19th century in this game, so you couldn't duplicate Ned McGreevy in this. I like the interface. I like what it does. I think it's cool. Um, I don't know what else to say about this thing right now. League leaders, of course, we can see this is early in the season, so really, who gives a damn? And we only have one league in here right now. It thinks there's two, but there's not. Um, that's it. That is it. So, Robbie, what do you got coming up tonight? Yeah, you'd have to cut and paste into fictional PQ. Um, so that gives you a little bit of. You could do a Ned McGreevy type league. There just would be no 19th century. But, you know, that's okay. I like it. I do like the game. And I will say that Clay does a good job also of keeping the game updated through the year. But this year, not again maybe because he's developing season ticket baseball. I haven't seen as many updates for for Baseball Mogul as I have in past seasons. But I say get it when it goes on sale, or if you absolutely hate out of the park baseball and you want this, you can spend your $40 on this. It's a good deal though. So Robbie Wartburg says tonight's game this will be 1914 Federal League, and he's asking to please come and vote in his poll, as he wants to know how the community would like to see him doing baseball for Windows. Whether it would be like sort of double headers or just like a Federal League game one night, a 1920 game the other night. What Robbie does is what I used to do during the day. Is he'll put on a baseball for Windows game and he'll be typing interactively in chat. So it counts as a live stream. So it's fun. It says, ooh yeah, Aaron Reed snap into a Slim Jim. All right, guys. After 11 for me, and this has been coming up in 3 hours, and that's enough. So everybody, head on over to Robbie Wartburg's. Robbie, I catch your games usually during the day when I can. So I want to give thanks to folks who came tonight for Ned McGreevy and our little look into a game that really does deserve some love. Um, and that is so right now, if I wanted to, I could go get somebody I from right from the Red Sox, right? Whatever. I could go and get into right trades and stuff if you wanted to do that. And I don't know. There's a lot you can do. There's a lot you can do. I always stay away from finances. I really, really don't care. Top stories. This is nice. So Moyer pitches well. Mariners win. You get a little newspapery thingy here. So here for Seattle, starting pitcher Jamie Moyer set down 12 batters on his way to his 5-1 win over the 65 Twins on Friday. Uh, Jamie Moyer dominated the Minnesota lineup through 7 innings of pitching. He allowed 2 hits, 2 walks, no runs. Todd B says he likes games with write-ups like that. Um, so, in out of the park baseball, you get these like right at the end of the game, but you can look at all kinds of headlines and stuff like that. You can look who's coming up and whatever. It's a nice game. It's a really nice ball game. It's kind of self-contained. Yeah, that's why I was trying to get hold of you today, Aaron, um, because of my work schedule and stuff like that. So yeah, next time I'm really going to be around, my friend, is Sunday, unfortunately. That's why I kept hitting you. That's why I was hitting you with Discord today. But what I will do before I sign out of everything is I'm going to make the old time baseball file that I have shareable to you. So, and I'll put that link in our Discord chat, you and I. So you can click on that, and when you download that old time baseball, it's configured and ready to go. Just double click, and it will start, and you'll be able to play old time baseball. We will have to find a time to work with Earl Weaver because I have to plug in that 2 terabyte hard drive I have, and we may do it actually interactively that one as part of a stream. Because I think there's a lot of people that have talked about Earl Weaver baseball and maybe would like to see it again. So that's what we'll do for that. And be doing the thing for baseball for Windows for you. So I will also need I'll need your your home address. Okay, so you already can play Earl Weaver, so you don't have to worry. But you said you didn't know how to play it. Yes, Earl could kick some dirt, PQ Ribber. Wasn't that right? Yeah, I'll do it as a stream some night, Robbie. If you guys remember, some time ago I talked about um, plugging in that drive, and we'll really because we did a trip down memory lane of games that you can run on modern systems, and that's why we're able to do old time baseball and out of the park 8 and things like that. But we're going to go way back, and you guys will see micro league baseball again. You'll see TV sports baseball. You'll see the Tony La Russa games, which I haven't shown on here, so why not? Um, we'll go back to Epic's All Star Baseball or whatever it was called. Um, so SSI, who also did like a lot of like the digital adaptations of Dungeons and Dragons, did Championship Baseball. So you guys will see that. So we'll do some like way back machine. We'll show the very first hardball game. Once I can figure out how to get a make sure configuring a modern controller to work with it, will show you guys hardball as well and some other games. It'll be fun. Yeah, I have. Well, PQ, what I have is a 2 terabyte drive that is just filled with. I mean, so with Amiga, Atari ST, Commodore 64, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Mega Drive, all that stuff. I forget how many damn games are on it. It's this ridiculous amount of games. So, yep. It's just because I'm too lazy to. I used to. I was really big into the emulation stuff and everything, but I saw that on eBay. I'm like, you know what? I'm too lazy to set it up and get the latest version of this and that and go out and look for ROMs. So just got it all, and it's a blast. And saw some games I never saw before. Fun stuff. Yep, TurboGrafx 16. TV Sports Baseball was a real for its time was a great looking game. It was first developed on the Commodore Amiga. Yes, there still are, Robbie, too. But yes, this was back in the 1980s. That with the music and comics. Nice, PQ River. Very cool. Aaron Reed says that's what I use my D drive for, so I can relate. Yeah, mine's sitting over, the one I bought comes with a really nice carrying case, two really good controllers. I was really surprised, and it's a real sleek looking external hard drive. It's plug and play, plug and beautiful interface to it. Real nice, really nice. And to have all of these games from all these systems, and I'm like, so I was never really a console gamer. I mean, I bought a PS4. I should say, I won a PS4 back home, um, and it cost me €2 to enter the contest, and I won. So I was always a computer gamer. So for me, it's been fun visiting these systems that I either wasn't around to play or never played or whatever. So I mean, crazy goofy stuff too, like the Intellivision, ColecoVision, whatever the Atari Lynx, Jaguar. It's good stuff, and it saves going all over the internet to try to find the stuff. And it was a good deal. It was like 120, $130 or something. Pretty nice. Anyhow, neither here nor there. Yeah, really cool. And as far as Dungeons and Dragons, Robbie, I mean, should be no surprise. Baldur's Gate 3 um, is, it's out there. It's not yet in full release. So yeah, but I mean, D&D, SSI, they were doing D&D stuff way back. You can pick up and I really should be talking about this in the new channel that I'm launching, not here. But yeah, they've been around a long time. a long, long time. Actually, even I think like one of the first games was like a Star Trek game on a mainframe, and that was from what I'm told back in the 1970s. The U.S. Navy. Yeah, tricky stuff. So anyhow, that'll be coming up. Anyhow, we're cutting into Robbie's time here, so don't want to do that. So I want to thank Aaron Reed, Robbie Wertberg, PQ Ribber. It was a cool name, Todd B. We always say thank you to Midlife Crisis, of course. Always have to do that. Cousin Ken Castro, thank you. MV, who managed brilliantly in a losing cause, but gave it a good go, didn't he? And I think we pretty much Christopher Slovic was hanging out for us for a little while, which was really nice. Clinton Parks, Anthony from Bleacher Bums Gaming came in to visit for a bit, and I got everybody up until about the fourth inning of the first game. I can't remember who was here before then. That's it. You're welcome, cousin Ken. And Aaron Reed says, good crack, good crack. PQ Rivers says, best all. So Aaron, we'll have to probably get hooked up sometime on Sunday. So yeah, that's why I was trying to hit you on Discord today. Today was like the day I could have done some stuff, but we'll get there, buddy. All right. Good night, guys. Everybody means a lot to me. You come in and hang out my humble little channel, and see you around the batting cage. Oh, I'm sorry. Just one last reminder. There might be one game tomorrow night. There will be no games. There might be no games Saturday, and Sunday we'll be back Sunday. And again, probably just one game Sunday. Um, so the double headers and long streams are kind of going to be easing off of those here and there. All right. Again, see you around the batting cage, gents. Good night.